Chapter 43. When Lin Xian heard Lu Yufan's words, he revealed a surprised expression and said, "How strange. You have such small breasts, and yet you still have people chasing after you? His taste is really bad." Ding. Successfully teased little big sister, scumbag value plus 10,000. Ah! When she heard Lin Xian's words, Lu Yufan immediately went berserk again. Fan lady. Lady. Yi tried her best to stop the berserk Lu Yufan. After knowing Lu Yufan for so long, she was usually a little mischievous. However, ever since she met Lin Xian, she revealed her true nature. It was especially easy for her to go berserk. Yi saw all of this, but what about her? She was originally a lady, a daughter of a rich family. But ever since she met Lin Xian, she had almost gone berserk several times. It wasn't that Lin Xian made her angry, but that his words sometimes caused too much damage. Otherwise, why would Lu Yufan go berserk several times? Who? After being held back by Yi, Lu Yufan took deep breaths to calm her raging emotions. Whoa, big sister Yi, he's too infuriating. Lu Yufan buried her little head in Yi's arms and rubbed her head as she said aggrievedly, "Let's ignore him. In a while the people from the advanced class will come and beat him up." Yi comforted Lu Yufan like a big sister. Lin Xian leaned back in his chair without a care in the world. A few of his lackeys brought him tea and water. In their eyes, Lin Xian was simply a god. He defeated all of the top 10 students in the intermediate class, and even teased Yi time and time again. Lu Yufan and the others could still get along well with Lin Xian. This was simply a role model for them. He felt that if he learned a few moves from Lin Xian, he would have an endless supply of girls. Lu Yufan then glared at Lin Xian. "Just you wait, the advanced class will deal with you later. Don't expect us to help you." Lin Xian shrugged and said indifferently, "I don't need your help. Tell me, what can you help with?" Lu Yufan. Fine. She felt that talking to Lin Xian was a mistake. Yi was still relatively kind-hearted. After thinking for a bit, she said to Lin Xian, "The advanced class is different from the intermediate class. Most of the advanced class martial artists are already in the spirit condensation realm. The difference between 1 star of the spirit condensation realm and 10 stars of the chi building realm is only 1 star. But the difference is like heaven and earth. You may be able to provoke the intermediate class, but provoking the advanced class is really a wrong choice. Are you concerned about me?" Lin Xian looked at Yi with a smile. Yi turned her face to the side and muttered, "I'm just reminding you as a classmate." "Then I accept your concern." "I said it's not concern," Yi emphasized. Lin Xian smiled and didn't say anything. "Advanced class? So what if it's the advanced class?" The reason why there were so few people in the classroom was because many people went to train. After that, Lin Xian went to train again. He wouldn't relax just because his cultivation level increased. He needed to learn. In the future, he would definitely come into contact with all kinds of demon beasts. If he could understand more, then he would be safer. Lin Xian wouldn't foolishly wait in the classroom for the advanced class people to come find him. He would do his own thing. What did other things have to do with him? Older brother Xian. After the real battle, Lin Xian saw Wang Fuguwei running over with a piece of fatty meat. "How's it going? Are you comfortable in class 5? Lin Xian asked with a smile. "Comfortable my ass. I want to be in the same class as you. Moreover, class 10 has Lu Yufan and Yi, the 2 super beautiful school beauties. Our class 5, my goodness, is full of ugly people." Wang Fuguwei shook his head in dissatisfaction. Lin Xian patted his shoulder and said, "All right, since you're here, then take it easy. What do you want from me?" Wang Fuguwei said, "Nothing much. I just feel that you've been very arrogant lately. When are you going to take me flying?" "All right. In the future, don't be afraid of anyone you see. Even if you're my Lin Xian's little brother. Advanced class, don't be afraid." Wang Fugui's eyes lit up. "Really? Then you can do whatever you want." Lin Xian shook his head. "No, you'll be beaten very badly like this." After saying that, Lin Xian walked away. Wang Fugui. "Isn't this a scam?" School was about to end. Lin Xian went back to the classroom to take some things and prepared to go home. However, when he arrived at the door, He found that there were a few uninvited guests at the entrance of Class 10. There were many students from other classes in the surrounding area, who were prepared to watch the show from afar. Brother Kai, he's Lin Xian. Wang Wen, who was beaten up by Lin Xian before, pointed at Lin Xian and said. Li Kai looked at Lin Xian and sneered. You're the one who fought against 10 people from the intermediate class? Seeing Li Kai, Lin Xian actually laughed. Sure enough, Lu Yufan was right. This Li Kai was ugly, and he was really short. With shoes he was about 1.68 meters. Lin Xian was taller than him by a head. May I know when we met? Lin Xian showed a puzzled expression. He really hadn't met this Li Kai before. But he was looking for trouble with him. That was interesting. Li Kai sneered. I haven't met you before, but my girlfriend has a grudge against you. She specifically asked me to teach you a lesson. Originally, this young master wanted to give you a warning, but I didn't expect you to dare to beat up my people. You must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's guts. Oh, your girlfriend? Who? Zhao Mingyue. Lin Xian. This Zhao Mingyue is amazing. 2 days ago, her boyfriend was still that Zhang Chao. Today, it's this short Li Kai from the advanced class. TSK. So it's Zhao Mingyue. I remember. Do you know why I have a grudge against her? Lin Xian asked with a smirk. Why? That's because some time ago, I went to a foot spa with a friend for a massage. Who knew that the foot spa was so unorthodox? They actually had that kind of service. I hate that kind of thing. I advocate righteousness and create a new atmosphere. Then I called the police and arrested all the ladies there. Don't you think it's a coincidence? Zhao Mingyue was one of them. What a coincidence. I was classmates with her in the same school. So, I guess she was earning some extra money outside, and was disturbed by me. Then she held a grudge against me. Lin Xian said with a serious expression. Uft. Lu Yufan, who was eavesdropping, couldn't help but laugh. This Lin Xian was too sarcastic. The surrounding students who were watching the show also gave Lin Xian a thumbs up. This was simply humiliating Li Kai without batting an eyelid. In the distance, Xiao Runing saw this scene. She crossed her arms and showed an interested expression. However, she didn't stop them. It was as if she wanted to see Lin Xian cause trouble. You're courting death. Li Kai's expression suddenly changed, revealing an angry expression. You don't believe me? Because of this incident, I was even given a silk banner by the police station. Do you want me to show it to you? Lin Xian chuckled. Chapter 44. Of course, no one believed Lin Xian's words. However, they were more concerned about something else. F***CK. Li Kai's girlfriend is Zhao Mingyue. I know this woman. Wasn't her boyfriend Zhang Chao 2 days ago? Amazing. She's really a B***TCH. Li Kai's girlfriend is such a B***TCH. How embarrassing. The girlfriend of a spirit focus expert in the advanced class is such a B***TCH. Even if Lin Xian is lying, I think it's more or less the same. Li Kai was even more furious when he heard the discussions around him. His right fist was filled with powerful spiritual energy. You want to fight me? Lin Xian stared at him without the slightest hint of panic. In fact, he even looked completely at ease. Lin Xian, you're pretty strong since you can defeat an intermediate class student. However, I'm a spirit focus expert in the advanced class. You can't afford to offend me. Lin Xian could not help but laugh. He then asked Li Kai, do you know how many people I've tossed down from the building where you're standing? I only know that you're next. Li Kai then charged at Lin Xian. Although the space was not big, he felt that it was enough to beat up Lin Xian. Bang! His punch shocked everyone. Lin Xian did not move. He only reached out and wrapped his palm around Li Kai's right fist. Li Kai could not move an inch. F***CK. What's Lin Xian's cultivation base? Why do I feel like he's stronger than Li Kai? That's right, he's stronger than Li Kai. Look at Li Kai's red face. He's using all his strength, but he can't even move Lin Xian. Impossible. Unless Lin Xian is in the spirit focus stage. But he's a new student in the Sky Martial Court. If he's in the spirit focus stage, why did he enter the Sky Martial Court so late? Also, rumor has it that Lin Xian is a piece of trash. While everyone was still in shock, Li Kai released his martial technique. The powerful force shattered the surrounding glass. However, get the hell out of here. Lin Xian even took the brunt of Li Kai's attack and threw him down the stairs. Everyone, what about you? Do you want to jump or should I throw you down? Lin Xian looked at Wang Wen in front of him. Wang Wen swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Then under everyone's dumbfounded gazes he jumped down. Lin Xian clapped his hands and turned to look at Xiao Runing behind him. He squeezed out a smile and said, "Hee hee, Miss Xiao." Xiao Runing really did not guess wrong. This Lin Xian simply wasn't in the Qi building realm. He was in the spirit condensation realm. No wonder he dared to be so arrogant. But how many stars is he in the spirit condensation stage? Thinking about it, it shouldn't be too high. Prepare the money for the glass and installation. Xiao Runing looked at the shattered glass and said to Lin Xian calmly, "Lin Xian, wait a moment." Whoosh! After speaking, Lin Xian directly jumped down from the second floor. Li Kai angrily climbed up. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be so strong. He was simply looking for trouble. "Give me the money." Lin Xian stretched out his hand to Li Kai. "What do you mean?" Li Kai clenched his teeth and glared at Lin Xian. "Money for the glass and installation. Everyone." "Lin Xian, don't you King take a mile after taking an inch?" Li Kai angrily cursed. Lin Xian calmly said, "You used a martial skill to shatter the glass. Shouldn't you pay for it? Ck your mother." Boom! A terrifying one-star power of the spirit condensation stage erupted from his body. Then, a blue light suddenly flashed, and a fist containing a martial skill flew towards Lin Xian. However, in the next moment, his figure directly flew out. Everyone only saw Lin Xian kick the ground without any fancy moves. And then he was sent flying. What realm is this Lin Xian in? Lin Xian then rushed over and stepped on his face. Lin Xian's face hung a smile. But at this moment, it was more like a devil's smile. "I'll give you one more chance. Give me the money." I'll give. This time, Li Kai was really sure that this Lin Xian was faking it. Ck, he's in the spirit condensation stage. With this realm, he can mix in the advanced class. Why is he still in the beginner class? Then, Li Kai sullenly pulled out $300 bills from his wallet and handed them to Lin Xian. 300? You think I'm a beggar? Li Kai angrily said. A piece of glass is only $10. A dozen pieces is at most 100, plus the installation fee. 300 is not enough? Slap. Lin Xian did not hesitate to slap him. The crisp sound of the slap made everyone's heart tremble. Then, Lin Xian pointed in the direction of their class 10 and said, "That's our class 10. A piece of glass in class 10 is at least 200. Plus, that's Miss Zhao's class. That piece is 300, and the installation fee is 1,000. Li Kai wanted to curse, but when he thought about how Lin Xian could casually hit him, he endured it. In the end, he handed all the money in his wallet to Lin Xian before running away in a sorry state. Lin Xian, just you wait. Li Kai did not forget to leave behind some ruthless words. TCH. Lin Xian disdainfully smiled and then took the money to the second floor. He pulled out $300 from a stack and handed it to Xiao Runing and said, "Here's the money for the glass and the installation fee." Everyone. Ck. Wasn't this Lin Xian too shameless? Xiao Runing was also stunned for a moment. Then the corner of her mouth curled up. "Give me everything. You said that a piece of glass in class 10 is 300. TCH, I also said that you like me. Do you believe it yourself? No. Then that's it. 300. I don't have any more." Everyone. Xiao Runing helplessly took the $300. This Lin Xian. She really wanted to beat him up. Hee, Miss Xiao, there's something I want to ask you. Lin Xian then grinned. 8,000. Lin Xian. Okay, I'll owe you. Let's go to my office. Then, Xiao Runing walked away with Lin Xian following behind her. Xiao Runing's office was a single room, and she was the only one in it. As soon as he entered, he smelled a fragrance that belonged to Xiao Runing. It smells so good. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Xiao Runing sat at the side and looked at Lin Xian. Say it, what's the matter? Lin Xian smiled and said, I want to get a spirit tool. I don't know if Miss Xiao can help me? And spirit condensation realm does need a spirit tool. Xiao Runing pondered for a moment, then looked at Lin Xian. Then tell me, what realm are you in? I just advanced to the spirit condensation realm. I went to the beast territory 2 days ago and killed some beasts to advance. Xiao Runing remained skeptical, but she didn't ask. You can get a spirit tool in the advanced class. With your spirit condensation realm, you can directly go to the advanced class. Do you want to go? Not going. There's Miss Xiao in the beginner class. I definitely won't go. Lin Xian said resolutely. Is that so? Xiao Runing's mouth hooked up, revealing a charming smile. She stared at Lin Xian and said, Then come to my house tonight. I'll give it to you. Chapter 45. Upon hearing Xiao Runing's words, Lin Xian stood rooted to the ground. That's not very good, right? You haven't even accepted my confession yet. Isn't it a little too soon to go to your house? Lin Xian mumbled softly. Xiao Runing's pretty face was slightly dyed with a layer of crimson. She was both ashamed and angry. What are you thinking? I want you to come to my house tonight and help me out. What kind of help? Xiao Runing rubbed her temples and said, I have a cousin who has been pursuing me. I lied to him that I have a boyfriend, but he probably doesn't believe me. Tonight he wants to come to my house for dinner. Come over and pretend to be my boyfriend. Tell him that we are already living together, and make him completely give up on the idea. Cousin? Damn, your family is incestuous. It's more than 3 generations, so it doesn't count. That's why he is pursuing me. This kind of relationship is the most difficult. What about the reward? Lin Xian asked. Xiao Runing stared at Lin Xian and said slowly, Aren't you lacking spiritual weapons? I happen to have a sword at home. Its grade isn't too high. Only 8 stars of the yellow rank. Is it enough for you? 8 stars of the yellow rank. It's enough, it's enough. Lin Xian nodded. And 8 stars of the yellow rank was already very rare. It could be said that half of the people in the advanced class did not have a weapon as high as this 8 stars of the yellow rank. If it were to be sold, it would probably start at a price of 1 million. This Xiao Runing was really generous. Lin Xian guessed that she was definitely the daughter of a rich family. All right, then it's settled. Come straight home with me after school. All right. At this moment, in a very beautiful manner, a woman wearing a white dress sat in the back garden. She was holding a brush and drawing. The beautiful scenery and her quiet and beautiful figure were like a painting. Han Chuxue put down her brush and looked at the portrait that she had drawn from memory. After a few seconds, she sighed slightly. It had to be said that there was a reason why Han Chuxue was able to become the #1 beauty in Tianhua Academy. A pure white lace dress wrapped around her delicate and exquisite body. Her jade-like long hair was tied with a simple hairpin. Her hair fluttered in the wind, falling on both sides of her ivory white shoulders. Under the fluttering long hair was a crystal-like exquisite face. The sun shone on her face, as beautiful and dazzling as broken mercury, bringing out her elegant charm to the extreme. Elegant, noble, and cold were synonyms for her. Her gorgeous face, set off by her noble temperament, could make any man feel inferior in front of her, not even daring to raise their head to look at her. However, at this moment, her deep, beautiful eyes were filled with thoughts. The door to the back garden opened, and a woman in black walked over with a lollipop in her mouth. Oh, you're not dead yet. The woman leaned against the tree and looked at Han Chuxue with a smile. What are you doing here? Han Chuxue didn't even turn around. Her voice was emotionless, as cold as a mountain. The woman in black held the lollipop in her hand and smiled. I just came to see if you're dead. When the two women stood together, it was a picture of complete opposites. However, the woman in black did not lose to Han Chuxue in terms of looks. Her beautiful face, every frown and smile of hers could cause any man to have a reaction. That was a charm that came from her bones. She was a seductress. It was rare to see a woman with such an unrestrained and seductive temperament. Her uncombed long hair fell behind her and fluttered in the wind. Her clear and mysterious dark purple eyes. Her thin lips were slightly pursed, and her long and thick eyelashes were slightly curled like the leaves of a mimosa plant. If Han Chushue was a proud white lotus on top of an iceberg, then she was a thorny rose in a field of flowers. In the entire Tianhua Academy, the only person who could compare to the two women in terms of looks and temperament was their mentor, Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing was more like a combination of the two women. She was charming, seductive, elegant, noble, and cold. Xiao Runing could switch between all these qualities. Lingying was her name, and she was the second most beautiful woman in Tianhua Academy. "I'm not dead," Han Chushue said lightly. Lingying looked at the slight wound on her face and could not help but laugh. "I didn't expect you to almost die there. Was it another flame lion?" Han Chushue nodded slightly. "Yes, another flame lion of the arcane body stage 5 stars and above." "That's strange. Then how did you come back alive?" Lingying was very curious. Han Chushue did not speak. "Forget it. Recuperate well. The Tianwu conference is coming soon. I still want to personally defeat you in the Tianwu conference." Han Chushue turned to look at Lingying and said, "I won't be participating in the Tianwu conference this time." The lollipop in Lingying's mouth stopped moving. She hissed for a moment before curling her lips and saying, "What? You're not interested in men, you're not interested in fun, and now you're not interested in fighting? Then why are you still alive?" Han Chushue did not say a word again. "Oh right. The one from before was called Lin Xian. Yes. He beat up another person from the advanced class today. What an interesting little brother," Lingying said with a smile. "Not interested." Lingying walked over and said, "Then I want to know what you're interested in? Zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting?" Then her gaze fell on Han Chushua's sketch. "Yo!" The corners of Lingying's mouth curled up as she picked up the portrait on the table. TSK. Han Chushue. Oh, Han Chushue. So you're pretending to not be interested in men. You're secretly drawing the portrait of the man you like. It's not bad." Han Chushue seemed to be used to Lingying's jokes. Then she said, "Originally, I was going to die outside this time." Lingying paused and looked at Han Chushue. Han Chushue's gaze was locked on the sketch. "He was the one who saved me. And then he stole your heart away? TSK. The hero saving the beauty is really useful." Han Chushue shook her head slightly. "No, he's dead." Lingying's expression became slightly serious. A spirit condensation 5-star was chased by a netherworld flame lion. There's no hope for him to survive. Then Han Chushue laughed self-deprecatingly. "I killed someone in order to improve my cultivation. Tell me, why should I participate in the Tianwu conference? Are you sure he's dead?" Han Chushue nodded. "It's impossible for him to survive in such a situation. Yesterday I went there again. There was a huge pit in the direction he escaped in. There were traces of lightning burning the ground. It must be left behind by the battle. Do you care that much?" Lingying looked at Han Chushue. Han Chushue closed her eyes slightly. She could not forget the scene that night. At the most desperate moment before she died, he appeared. After a while, her beautiful eyes slowly opened. "You don't understand. I don't understand." Lingying crushed the lollipop in her mouth and continued. "All I know is that if you can't get over this, that man will become a demon in your heart that you can't get rid of. Do you suddenly feel that he's more important than any other man you've ever met?" Chapter 46. Han Chushue didn't know what she was feeling right now. Guilt, self-blame, and maybe some other emotions. She carefully thought about Lingying's words. She had seen too many outstanding men, but no matter how outstanding they were, no matter how gentlemanly they acted in front of her, they weren't as deeply rooted in her heart as that person from that night. Maybe it was because he saved her. When she was at her most desperate, he pulled her up from the brink of death. But he died. Let me ask you, for anyone, if they encountered something like this, would they be able to keep their heart as calm as water? Of course not. In short, since you think he's dead, then you should live for him. Are you really not going to participate in the Sky Marshal Conference? Han Chushue shook her head. Okay, I'm leaving. Then Lingying left the back garden. Han Chushue stared at the portrait she drew in a daze. At this time, Lin Xian was sitting in Xiao Runing's car and driving towards her home. "Dear Ning Ning, your car smells so good." Lin Xian grinned. and then looked sweetly at Xiao Runing, who was driving. Ding. Felt Xiao Runing's shyness. Scumbag points plus 20,000. Mission progress, 60%. Lin Xian. That works too? Unintentionally planting a willow and growing a shade. What did you call me? Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. Ning Ning. Didn't you say I was acting as your boyfriend? Do you want me to call you Teacher Xiao when the time comes? Xiao Runing paused. What he said made sense. That's why I have to get used to my new name. Otherwise, if I call you Miss Xiao again, wouldn't I be exposed? Okay. Xiao Runing felt that Lin Xian was flirting with her, but she felt that what he said made sense. She couldn't refute it. How about I call you wife? Xiao Runing clenched her teeth. This guy wanted a yard after getting an inch. What do you think? Ning Ning sounds better. Lin Xian smiled. Xiao Runing took a deep breath. She really didn't know if it was the right decision to let him come. At this time, Lin Xian took out his phone and called Linya. He told her that he wouldn't be home for dinner tonight. He also assured her that there was absolutely no danger. Only then did Linya feel relieved. Are you afraid of your sister? Xiao Runing asked. Lin Xian shrugged and said, It's not fear. It's love. Why do I feel like I'm scared? Lin Xian was afraid of Linya? Of course not. He was afraid that Linya would be worried. He's a man. Of course, he has to be gentle to girls. Lin Xian laughed. But are you living with your sister now? Lin Xian. Yeah, I've been like that since I was a kid. Where are your parents? Parents. Her parents on Earth were killed by the Lin family. And this body didn't even know who her parents were. Thinking about it, it was a bit funny and sad. I don't have parents. I grew up in an orphanage with my sister. Lin Xian said in an open-minded tone. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Xiao Runing froze for a bit. Then she said apologetically, Sorry. It's fine. Lin Xian smiled. Xiao Runing felt that it was quite strange. A child who grew up in an orphanage was actually so optimistic. It was rare. At the same time, her view of Lin Xian changed a lot. Maybe he was just pretending to be optimistic to make her sister feel at ease. Soon the car entered a residential area. This is the place. Xiao Runing parked the car and took out some bags from the trunk with Lin Xian. These were the ingredients they bought on the way here. Ning Ning, you live in a residential area? I thought it was a big villa. Xiao Runing said slowly. Why would I live in a villa alone? This kind of house is quite good. You're in luck tonight. I'll let you taste my cooking. Every time she heard Lin Xian call her Ning Ning, Xiao Runing felt goosebumps. But she kept telling herself that this was just an act. It's fine as long as it's over. They took the elevator to the 18th floor. Although it was a residential area, it was definitely a high-class residential area. When they opened the door, what surprised Lin Xian was that the entire living room, no, the entire room was full of childlike charm. The wallpaper was light pink. It was a very beautiful and clean room. It was like entering a little princess's home. Uft. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. Xiao Runing didn't know what Lin Xian was laughing about. What's wrong? What are you laughing about? Xiao Runing gave Lin Xian a pair of pink slippers. Lin Xian casually changed into them and walked in. I'm laughing. The school's cold, noble, and seductive beautiful teacher is actually so childlike. The entire house is pink, even the slippers are pink. TSK. Ding. Felt Xiao Runing's shyness. Scumbag points plus 20,000. Mission progress, 70%. If you dare to go out and say anything, you're dead. Xiao Runing fiercely threatened Lin Xian. Okay. I won't say anything. When they walked in, the entire house was filled with a faint fragrance. Just like Lin Xian's house. Lin Xian's house was also filled with Linya's scent. Of course, other than Lin Xian's room. You can sit anywhere first. My cousin will probably come in 2 hours. I'll wash the vegetables and prepare to cook. If you want to drink water, pour it yourself. Xiao Runing said to Lin Xian as she carried the vegetables to the kitchen. Can I walk around? Lin Xian asked. Xiao Runing turned her head to look at Lin Xian and said, You can, but you're not allowed to enter my room. It's on your left. After that, Lin Xian walked around Xiao Runing's house. The house had 3 bedrooms and 1 living room, but only Xiao Runing lived in it. One of the other 2 bedrooms also had a bed. It was also clean, but no one lived in it. However, there were signs that it had been lived in before. The other smaller room had been converted by Xiao Runing into a study room for a computer. There were many small plants in the house, and it was quite beautiful. Lin Xian had nothing to do, so he went into the study room and flipped through a few books. Most of these books recorded some things about the continent, including some demon beasts' habits, martial arts, weaknesses, advantages, and so on. They were indeed very useful. He flipped to a page. This page recorded some of the more special creatures on planet Aqua Blue: dragons, fairies, phoenixes, and other super bloodline races. What was a super bloodline? It meant that their bloodline was extremely powerful. They were at the peak of existence. The stronger the bloodline, the stronger the strength. These demonic beasts were a little special. They were neutral, and would not normally attack humans or demonic beasts. They might even become friends with humans. Generally speaking, if they wanted to enter the territory of humans, the door would be open for them. Lin Xian knew that there was a very powerful warrior in the capital. He was a dragon knight, and his partner was an extremely powerful fire attribute giant dragon. There were many similar ones. That was a true expert. That was the pinnacle of life. Chapter 47. After that, there was a page about a qilin, but there was a picture of a large qilin, which was very different from the one Lin Xian saw that night. The color was also different. Even now, Lin Xian wasn't sure whether it was a qilin or not. It was too cute. Lin Xian took the book and went to the kitchen. In the kitchen, Xiao Runing was busy cooking. Not to mention, this Xiao Runing was quite similar to Linya. If he married this kind of girl, he would definitely be happy. Ningning, I have something to ask you, Lin Xian said from behind. Every time she heard Ningning, Xiao Runing wanted to kill someone. What? Xiao Runing turned around, and then Lin Xian handed her the picture of the qilin. Is this picture of a qilin real? Lin Xian asked. Lin Xian had searched for qilins on the internet, but he couldn't find anything useful. Xiao Runing nodded. About 80 to 90% correct. A long time ago, a powerhouse inadvertently saw a qilin, and someone made this picture according to his description, so it's not too far off. Are there no pictures of qilins when they were young? Xiao Runing shook her head. Is there a kind of qilin called snow qilin? Snow qilin? Xiao Runing thought for a moment. Yes, it means that its entire body is as white as snow. Xiao Runing shook her head. I'm not sure. I don't have any impression of it, and I've never heard of the name snow qilin. Why do you ask? Lin Xian said with a smile. It's nothing. Continue with your work, my dear Ningning. Xiao Runing took a deep breath, and then ignored Lin Xian. Oh, by the way, I like to eat braised pork and chicken wings. Well, it's best to make pork ribs and corn soup. Lin Xian added in the back. Xiao Runing. She believed that she had a good personality, and rarely had any emotional fluctuations. However, ever since she met Lin Xian, she realized that her emotions would often be stirred up by him. For example, this sentence. Damn it, you're just a guest. You're still emphasizing what to eat. This was too infuriating. It was no wonder that Yi Yi, the daughter of a respectable family, could be angered by him. And Lu Yufan even went berserk. Please scram, thank you. I can't leave. Lin Xian shook his head and added. Because you've already locked me in your heart. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Hurry up and get out. Don't disturb me. Then you can cook my favorite dishes. Alright, I'll do it. He love you, Mua. Xiao Runing secretly touched her forehead. Half an hour later, the aroma of food filled the room. The first dish was ready. It was Lin Xian's braised pork. It looked really delicious. What are you doing? Xiao Runing turned around and saw Lin Xian trying to steal a bite. She quickly covered it with a plate. Don't steal a bite. I can't wait to try your cooking. Lin Xian smiled. If I see you stealing a bite again, don't eat it. Xiao Runing threatened him, and then went to cook the next dish. After about 2 hours, the 10 dishes on the table were ready. Just then the doorbell rang. Xiao Runing hurried over and specifically reminded Lin Xian. Don't let the cat out of the bag later. Lin Xian made an okay gesture, and then Xiao Runing opened the door. Brother Tianyu. Xiao Runing looked at the man in front of her and smiled. Jiang Tianyu smiled at Xiao Runing and said, Ning Ning, I haven't seen you in a while. You've gotten prettier. Brother Tianyu, you're too polite. Come in. Then Jiang Tianyu changed into slippers and walked in. Only then did he see Lin Xian sitting on the sofa. He frowned. Jiang Tianyu was indeed handsome and talented. If he was in school, he would definitely be the school's most handsome guy. Oh right, Brother Tianyu, let me introduce you. This is Lin Xian. I told you before he's my boyfriend. Lin Xian stood up and walked over. He reached out his hand and shook Jiang Tianyu's hand. Hello, I've heard about you from Ning Ning. Come sit. Jiang Tianyu nodded slightly, and then sat on the sofa to examine Lin Xian. This was Xiao Runing's boyfriend? He didn't believe it. From the beginning, he didn't believe that Xiao Runing had a boyfriend. Because it was too sudden, and he knew Xiao Runing's taste. Who knew how many outstanding men had confessed to her? But she didn't even look at them. She only looked at Lin Xian. In terms of temperament and appearance, he couldn't compare to those men. How could Xiao Runing like him? Brother Tianyu, you and Lin Xian chat first. There's still a soup to be made. We can eat once it's done, Xiao Runing said, and then secretly gave Lin Xian a look before entering the kitchen. Jiang Tianyu then smiled at Lin Xian and said, I didn't think that Ning Ning would find a boyfriend after not seeing him for a while. I wonder where young Master Lin is working? Lin Xian smiled and looked at ease. Brother Tianyu, you don't need to be so polite. You're Ning Ning's cousin, so I naturally have to call you Big Brother. You can just call me Little Xian. And then Lin Xian said, as for working, I can't say that. In this era, strength is respected. That's just empty talk. Ha ha ha, you're right. Strength is respected. What realm are you at? Although Jiang Tianyu felt that the possibility of Lin Xian being Xiao Runing's boyfriend wasn't high, it was still possible. Therefore, he wanted to find out more about Lin Xian. Lin Xian used his spiritual eye to investigate. This Jiang Tianyu was indeed quite outstanding. He was actually at the arcane body third star realm. No wonder he dared to pursue Xiao Runing. He then said, my realm isn't high. I haven't reached the arcane body realm yet. I'm ashamed to say that I could have done so long ago, but I've been eating and playing with Ning Ning these past few days, so I didn't go to the beast domain. Since Lin Xian wanted to help Xiao Runing, then he couldn't make it too flashy. Otherwise, Lin Xian would kill this Jiang Tianyu. Not bad, not bad. Jiang Tianyu agreed. Then Xiao Runing shouted, wash your hands, it's time to eat. Coming. Lin Xian then walked over. Wash your hands. Xiao Runing patted Lin Xian's shoulder and pouted. They really looked like a couple. Jiang Tianyu saw this scene and frowned. Wash your hands. After washing his hands, Jiang Tianyu walked over and sat on a chair. Why are there so many dishes? Just make 2 random dishes. Xiao Runing smiled. Brother Tianyu, it's not easy for you to come here. How can you just make some random dishes? These are all Lin Xian's favorite dishes. I think you'll like them too. Yes, yes, yes. Let's eat. Brother Tianyu, do you want some wine? Lin Xian brought a bottle of beer. Xiao Runing bought it especially for Lin Xian. She didn't drink, but she gave it to Lin Xian. Her goal was to make Jiang Tianyu think that she pampered Lin Xian and loved him. Drink some. Then Lin Xian poured a glass for Jiang Tianyu. Ning Ning, what about you? Lin Xian asked. Hearing this, Xiao Runing knew that something bad was going to happen. Jiang Tianyu, on the other hand, smirked. Chapter 48. Xiao Runing didn't feel good, because she didn't drink beer, and only drank red wine. Jiang Tianyu knew this, but Lin Xian asked her if she wanted to drink, which meant that he didn't know Xiao Runing. Lin Xian didn't even know if Lin Xian drank beer or not. So how could they be a couple? Impossible. So Jiang Tianyu thought they were faking it. How many times do I have to tell you that I don't drink beer? But you still don't remember. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian, trying to smooth things over. Lin Xian looked very calm and said, isn't it because Brother Tianyu is here? It's a special situation. How can we drink beer and you drink red wine, right? It had to be said that Lin Xian was quite good at smoothing things over. Jiang Tianyu said, it's not a big deal. We don't need to be so formal in our own house. Lin Xian smiled. Brother Tianyu is right. Come, let me toast you. After finishing a glass of wine and some food, Jiang Tianyu asked Lin Xian. Little Xian, how did you meet Ning Ning? From what I remember, Ning Ning rarely comes into contact with boys. Lin Xian had already made up this part. He then picked up a mouthful of food and said, Then it must be fate. A while ago, Ning Ning was surrounded by a few strong beasts. I happened to pass by and helped her kill those beasts. That's how we got to know each other. Speaking of which, it's quite interesting. The first time I saw Ning Ning, I was stunned. After getting her phone number, I asked her out a few times, but she just wouldn't come out. In the end, I had to wait at the entrance of her school to eat with her for the first time. Xiao Runing smiled and said, Then he shamelessly chased me. I thought, I'm not young anymore, and it's time for me to find a partner. Although his realm isn't as high as mine, he has a good character and is ambitious. So I agreed. Ha ha ha, speaking of which, I still don't know what you like about me. Is it that I'm ambitious and have a good character? Lin Xian asked with a smile. No, you always make me laugh. That's the key. I like that feeling. Lin Xian smiled and looked at Jiang Tianyu. Brother Tianyu, that's why girls like guys who are humorous. That's true. Jiang Tianyu nodded. He had always been suspicious of their words, and his suspicions were getting stronger and stronger. The meal was over quickly. Xiao Runing cleaned up, and the three sat on the sofa and chatted. I'm going to the washroom. Jiang Tianyu walked into the washroom. You idiot. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian wasn't happy. Damn. I didn't even rehearse with you. It's already pretty good that I can improvise like this, okay? But he's suspicious. What do you think we should do? Originally, I wanted to pretend to be your boyfriend, so that he wouldn't bother me anymore. But now that he's suspicious, I'm sure he'll still bother me in the future. Xiao Runing frowned and whispered. Lin Xian thought for a bit and said, I have an idea. Tell me. Give me a kiss. Xiao Runing. You actually want to take advantage of me. Give me a reason. Lin Xian said calmly. Think about it. Why doesn't he believe you? Because you spilled the beans. Lin Xian shook his head. No. The key is that even though we're a couple in name, he doesn't see us as a couple. You told him that we've been living together. But have we done anything intimate since the beginning? We didn't even hold hands. Do you think that's normal? Xiao Runing heard Lin Xian's words and fell into deep thought. Then she looked up at Lin Xian and asked, So you're saying, later, when he comes out of the bathroom, you can take the opportunity to kiss me. When he sees us, he'll think that we're making out while he's in the bathroom. That's something that only happens when you're in love. He'll definitely think that we're really a couple. Don't you think what I said makes sense? Lin Xian acted as if he knew everything. That won't do. Xiao Runing quickly shook her head. I'm not asking you to kiss my lips. Just kiss my cheek. Lin Xian said with a smile. Hurry up. Men go to the washroom very quickly. Xiao Runing gritted her teeth. Wasn't it just a kiss on the cheek? That was nothing. Okay. Remember, you have to seize the opportunity. When the doorknob turns, kiss it. Lin Xian sat there, and Xiao Runing's heart was beating very fast. The door of the washroom was facing the sofa where they were sitting, so Jiang Tianyu would definitely see them as soon as he came out. Click, the doorknob turned. Logically speaking, Xiao Runing should be kissing Lin Xian's cheek now. However, she was still hesitating and struggling. When the door was half open, she made up her mind. Then, she suddenly closed her eyes and leaned toward Lin Xian's cheek. At the same time, Lin Xian turned toward Xiao Runing. Then their lips touched. Wait, was this the feeling of kissing the cheek? Xiao Runing was stunned for a moment. Then she felt that something was wrong. However, her mind went blank. She only had one thought in her mind, and that was to not let the cat out of the bag. Otherwise, everything would be in vain. Therefore, she did not move at all. When Jiang Tianyu came out and saw the two of them, he was stunned. Ding! Successfully kissed little sister. Scumbag points plus 700,000. Mission teasing Xiao Runing completed. Reward 5 elemental arts has been issued. Just by kissing 700,000 scumbag points, the mission was completed. Cough cough. Lin Xian first coughed, and then his lips left Xiao Runing. At this moment, Xiao Runing's face turned red, and she quickly turned her face away. Bastard! Bastard! Xiao Runing had already cursed Lin Xian 100 times in her heart. This bastard said that he would kiss her cheek. Why did he suddenly turn around and kiss her lips? On purpose. Lin Xian must have done it on purpose. At this moment, the one who felt the most despair was Jiang Tianyu. They were not faking it. F***ck. F***ck. At that moment, he even had the urge to kill Lin Xian. Cough cough. Well, it's getting late. You guys should rest early. I'll go back first. Jiang Tianyu coughed, and then walked to the door with a gloomy face. Brother Tianyu, take care. Xiao Runing tried her best to calm down. Okay. Jiang Tianyu nodded and left. Lin Xian. As soon as Jiang Tianyu left, Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian angrily. Lin Xian looked at her innocently. Bastard. That was my first kiss. Xiao Runing gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Damn. That was Xiao Runing's first kiss. But not sticking out her tongue didn't count, right? Lin Xian quickly said. Damn. Your first kiss? That was my first kiss. I haven't complained to you that you took away my first kiss. Chapter 49. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Xiao Runing froze on the spot. His first kiss? F***ck. Was a man's first kiss important? Was it more important than a girl's? Also, Lin Xian was so flirtatious. How could it be his first kiss? Speaking of which, it really was Lin Xian's first kiss in this body. How are you going to explain this? Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian angrily. Lin Xian. How am I going to explain this? We agreed to kiss once the doorknob was turned, but you didn't kiss. I was curious, were you going to kiss me or not? Then I turned around to see what was going on. Who knew that you would kiss me when I turned around? Tell me, is this my fault? Xiao Runing stared blankly for a moment. Thinking about it carefully, what Lin Xian said was not unreasonable. They had agreed to kiss when the doorknob was turned, but she hesitated. Lin Xian turning around to see what was going on was reasonable. He made it sound like Xiao Runing was at fault for kissing Lin Xian. Don't you think I'm right? What do we do now? You took my first kiss away from me. You have to pay for it. Lin Xian looked aggrieved. Xiao Runing really wanted to beat him up. F***ck. But why couldn't she find a reason to beat him up? She had lost her first kiss just like that. Sob sob sob. Lin Xian sniffled and said aggrievedly. Miss Xiao, why don't you take responsibility for me? I'll reluctantly agree. Xiao Runing took a deep breath and exhaled. She stared at Lin Xian and said, if a third person finds out about this, you'll die a horrible death. There's already a third person who knows. Ah, Jiang Tianyu. Then it's the fourth. Lin Xian shrugged. That's enough. Sigh. I've gone through so much trouble to help you, but I still lost my first kiss. Hurry up and give me the spiritual tool. I want to go home. Lin Xian stretched out his hand towards Xiao Runing. F***ck. Why did it feel like Lin Xian was being wronged to death? Xiao Runing roared in her heart. After that, Xiao Runing stood up angrily and walked into her room. She took out a sword and threw it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian caught it and swung it a few times. Needless to say, it was quite impressive. He then used his spiritual eye to investigate. Dragon Rain Sword, grade, 8-star yellow rank. A dragon rain sword made from yellow dragon iron. It is very light and can cut through iron like mud. It is a rare spiritual weapon. Attribute. Strength plus 40. Xiao Runing then said to Lin Xian. The yellow-ranked 8-star dragon rain sword can increase your battle prowess by about 20%. Thanks. After that, Lin Xian's mind moved, and the dragon rain sword disappeared from Lin Xian's hand. It was absorbed into the spiritual tool space of the God's Child system. This was also a very convenient thing. If he wanted to use it, he just had to move his mind, and the spiritual tool would appear in his hand. This was why the system was very powerful. Of course, the God's Child system could also do this. Then I'll go home. It's getting late. Ning Ning, sleep early. Lin Xian smiled sweetly at Xiao Runing. Wait. Although Xiao Runing was very angry and felt that she had suffered a huge loss tonight, she still thought about the important things and became more rational. Is there anything else? Xiao Runing hesitated for a moment and said to Lin Xian, Can you stay at my house tonight? Lin Xian, hey. I only kissed you once. You don't have to give me your body in return, right? Lin Xian was shocked. What are you thinking? Xiao Runing's temperament returned to a cold and calm state at this moment. Lin Xian didn't know how she could have so many personalities. Then, Xiao Runing lowered her head and thought for a moment before saying, My cousin is very suspicious. Even if he saw what happened just now, he might still find someone to spy on you. If you go home now and he sees you, wouldn't all our previous efforts be in vain? Damn! What kind of monster is this? How could it be like this? Xiao Runing nodded slightly. If Jiang Tianyu really did that, and he found out that Lin Xian went home in the middle of the night, then their acting would be in vain. Her first kiss would be gone for nothing. But Lin Xian hesitated. He really felt that Lin Yu would be worried. Then he said, If I don't go home tonight, my sister will be worried. Xiao Runing said, I'll call your sister and explain to her. What do you think? Okay then. Tell her that I'm tutoring at your house, and I'll be sleeping at your house tonight. Xiao Runing. He was tutoring at a beautiful teacher's house in the middle of the night, and he was even sleeping at her house. Anyone would think the wrong thing, okay? I know what I'm doing. Give me the phone. Lin Xian then passed the phone to Xiao Runing. Little fairy? Xiao Runing was stunned when she saw the name Lin Xian gave to Linya. What? Can't my sister be a little fairy in my eyes? Lin Xian said proudly. Okay. Put it on speaker. The phone rang for about 2 seconds before it was picked up. Little Xian. Linya's gentle voice came from the other end. Her gentle voice was only for Lin Xian. She was cold to everyone else, but sometimes she was cold to Lin Xian as well. Is this big sister Lin Xian? Xiao Runing paused for a moment and said. Linya was clearly stunned. After a second she said, Yes, I am. May I know who you are? I'm Lin Xian's Miss Xiao from the Sky Martial Court. It's like this. He's going to conduct a full-set combat simulation at the academy tonight. It's quite important, so he won't be going home tonight. He asked me to inform you, Xiao Runing said. Linya paused for a moment before asking softly, Can I hear little Xian's voice? Lin Xian was touched when he heard Linya's words. She was worried about him. Little fairy, I'm here. Lin Xian called out. Linya was relieved when she heard Lin Xian's voice. She quickly said to Xiao Runing, I'll have to trouble Miss Xiao then. It's no trouble. Big sister Lin Xian, you should rest early too. Xiao Runing hung up and tossed the phone to Lin Xian. She loves you very much. Xiao Runing then spoke such a sentence. Nonsense. How can she not love such a handsome, elegant, considerate, gentle, and charming little brother? Xiao Runing sat on the sofa and looked at Lin Xian. She asked, Did you do something that scared her in the past? Lin Xian was slightly taken aback. Xiao Runing was certain of something when she saw Lin Xian's expression. Don't think too much about it. I'm quite knowledgeable about psychology and language. You're lucky that she's worried about you. Lin Xian sat beside Xiao Runing and said with a smile. Do you want such a considerate big sister too? What do you mean? Be my girlfriend. Then my big sister will be your big sister. She'll share her love with you too. Xiao Runing. 2 seconds later, she looked at Lin Xian coldly and said, We'll talk about it after you win the Sky Martial Tournament. However, I'd like to get to know your big sister if there's a chance. Chapter 50. A person's charm was so great that it was possible to make another person fall in love with her through her words alone. That was the most amazing thing, and Linya had done it without a doubt. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, What? You know my sister so you can talk bad about me? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. Xiao Runing seemed to have forgotten that she had just kissed Lin Xian. Her lips curled into a mischievous smile as she looked at Lin Xian and said, I'm very curious. Does your sister know that you are flirting with girls in Tianhua Academy? If I tell her that you are flirting with even a teacher, how will your sister look at you in the future? Lin Xian did not fall for it and laughed. Then your wishful thinking will be for naught. My sister keeps asking me to find a girlfriend and get married. This is already my 3rd blind date this year. If you tell her, she will be happy. Blind date. Puffed. Xiao Runing could not help but laugh. She was 25 years old, and had yet to go on a blind date. How old was this Lin Xian? He was only 21 years old, and had already gone on 3 blind dates this year. Xiao Runing had to admit that she admired Lin Xian's sister's way of thinking. Lin Xian shrugged helplessly. So now you understand why I keep flirting with girls in Tianhua Academy? I want to find a girlfriend as soon as possible. Then have you found one? Xiao Runing asked with a smile. I found one. Oh, Yi. No, or is it Lu Yufan? Xiao Runing raised an eyebrow. Isn't she the one sitting beside me? She even asked me to stay the night at her house. Sigh, things are progressing a little fast. I can't help it, she is too handsome. Xiao Runing. Ding. Successfully teased Xiao Runing. Scumbag value plus 20,000. Xiao Runing secretly gritted her teeth. She clearly didn't mean it that way. But Lin Xian's words made her feel that something was wrong. Xiao Runing then pointed to the side and said, This is your room tonight. Rest early. Ning Ning, tonight, can I sleep with you? I'm scared of sleeping alone. Lin Xian looked aggrieved. Scram. No. Xiao Runing stood up, then glanced at Lin Xian and asked, Are you afraid? How do you sleep at home? My sister hugs me to sleep at home. Xiao Runing. Are you serious? What the hell? You still don't believe me? What do you think we should do then? You tricked me into coming here and even let me stay here. But you have to let me sleep, right? I don't care. I can't sleep without someone hugging me. Xiao Runing. Lin Xian, you. Xiao Runing pointed at Lin Xian, but couldn't say anything. This person was too infuriating. Lin Xian then said, Then forget it. I'll just go home. At home, my sister will hug me to sleep. I can't sleep at your place. I won't have any energy tomorrow. No, you can't leave. If Lin Xian left, what if Jiang Tianyu was really down there? Wouldn't they be exposed? But I want to sleep. Will you hug me? Xiao Runing took a deep breath and tried to control her impulse to kick him in the face. Then what do you want? Xiao Runing asked. Hug me to sleep. In your dreams. Letting a virgin like her sleep in the same bed as a man? Impossible. Alright, then I won't force you. Lin Xian then looked at the room and asked, Has anyone stayed here before? This room. Xiao Runing nodded. Yes, a girl came to stay here for a day. But it's been a month. Doesn't that mean I've slept in the same bed as a girl? TSK, then I'll sleep. Xiao Runing. Dream on. The bedsheets and blankets are all new. Lin Xian laughed. That's fine. I can tell others that I've slept in the same bed as a girl. I'm not lying, right? Up to you. But if Xiao Chushua finds out, you'll be dead. F***CK. Xiao Chushua slept in this bed? Lin Xian's face was full of shock. This name was quite familiar. After all, she was the #1 beauty in Tianhua Academy. Although he hadn't seen her before, he was still looking forward to it. Xiao Runing nodded. Yes, so you'd better not tell others. If things go wrong, with the Xiao family's ability, it's too easy to kill you. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. This is still an era where family background matters. Xiao Runing didn't continue on this topic and said, Rest early. I'll make breakfast for you tomorrow as a little compensation. After saying that, Xiao Runing walked into her room and closed the door with a pada. She didn't even give Lin Xian a chance to look inside. This house was pretty good. There was a bathroom in each room. Lin Xian's room even had new toiletries prepared for him. After washing up, Lin Xian closed the door, took off his clothes and jumped onto the bed. He then looked at the reward for completing Xiao Runing's mission, which was the 5-element arts. 5-element arts, grade, Earth rank 5 stars. A martial arts technique that can increase the strength of 5 stars. Every time it is used, spiritual energy consumption, 100. Effect, metal, wood, water, fire, earth attributes. Effect is doubled. It was a very simple effect, which was to double the effect of the 5 stars. But seeing the grade of the Earth rank 5 stars, Lin Xian knew that it wasn't ordinary. Thinking about it carefully, it was indeed extraordinary. For example, if Lin Xian released a fire attribute martial arts technique and used the 5-element arts at the same time, the power of the fire attribute martial arts technique would be doubled. If the fire attribute martial arts technique was already an earth rank martial arts technique, what would be the extent of its power being doubled under the 5-element arts? It was unimaginable. For example, the earth attribute martial arts technique Earth Flow Wall could normally block the power of 1 star of the spirit condensation realm. But using the 5-element arts to double the power meant that the defensive power would be doubled. That way, it could not only block the power of 1 star of the spirit condensation realm. Overall, the 5-element arts was very exaggerated. It could even have an unimaginable effect in the future. But right now, it was somewhat useless because Lin Xian didn't have any of the 5-element arts. Up until now, he only had the lightning attribute. Lin Xian rested his head on his pillow and stared at the ceiling in a daze. So, right now my main task is to not only raise my cultivation level, but also to find all kinds of powerful heaven and earth spirit objects with strong attributes. Absorbing them can permanently activate my own attributes, and my battle power will also increase exponentially. Thinking of this, Lin Xian took out his phone. After about 10 seconds, the other side picked up. What? Xiao Runing's somewhat helpless voice came from the other side. I miss you, Ning Ning. Lin Xian said sweetly. Xiao Runing. I'll say it again, don't call me Ning Ning. I was just acting before. Okay, Ning Ning. Xiao Runing. What's the matter? If not, I'm going to sleep. Yes, I want to ask if you know of any heaven and earth spirit objects with attributes that can be absorbed or refined. Chapter 51. Xiao Runing froze for a moment. Why did Lin Xian ask this? After a while, she said, spiritual objects of heaven and earth that can be absorbed and refined into one's own use are extremely rare. Those that have been discovered have long been obtained by others. This kind of thing can only be encountered by chance and not sought. You'd better wash up and sleep. As expected. Then, my dear Ning Ning, good night. Ding! Successfully ridiculed Xiao Runing. Scumman points plus 10,000. After hanging up, Lin Xian went to sleep. He couldn't be bothered to think too much about it. That's right. There was nothing he could do if he relied on fate. The next morning, Lin Xian was woken up by the smell of incense. There was a small gap under the door, and the smell came from it. Lin Xian opened his eyes and walked out of the room. Xiao Runing had already prepared breakfast. Wash up and eat after waking up. Then go to school. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian and said. Lin Xian was too lazy to wash up. He sat down and ate a poached egg. Ning Ning, how about I stay here with you from now on? Let's live together. Can you clean up and pass away immediately? Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged. I think I like this kind of life. Anyway, you'll be my girlfriend when the time comes. It's just a matter of time. Are you so sure that you can get first place in the Tianwu tournament? Xiao Runing took a sip of porridge and looked at Lin Xian. Not for anything else, but for you as my girlfriend, I have to get first place. Xiao Runing shook her head. You still don't know the difference between you and those people. Let's talk about this after you reach the arcane body realm. Hurry up and eat. After breakfast, Lin Xian sat in Xiao Runing's car and went to school. Many students saw him get off Xiao Runing's car, and they were all dumbfounded. F***ck. Why did Lin Xian get off Miss Zhao's car? Wait a minute. Yesterday, Miss Zhao seemed to have left with Lin Xian after school, and now they were going to school together. Could it be that the two of them? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. A few hours later, this topic was actually fermented. It was pushed to the top of the Tianhua Academy's forum. Everyone was guessing what had happened during this period of time. No matter how they thought about it, it did not seem right. Older brother Xian, where are you going? After the virtual combat ended, Lin Xian walked out and happened to bump into Wang Fugue. Let's eat. Why don't we have lunch? Lin Xian asked. Didn't Miss Xiao say it before? We can't eat or go to the toilet for 7 days. And you still want to eat? If she finds out, she'll kill you. Or, is there really something going on between the two of you? Wang Fugue looked at Lin Xian with an ambiguous expression. What do you mean? F***ck. Yesterday, you took Miss Zhao's car home. And this morning, you took her car to go to school. This matter has gone viral on the internet. You don't know? Lin Xian. Alright, since you guys know, I won't hide it anymore. That's right, we're living together. After speaking, Lin Xian swaggered off, leaving Wang Fuguei standing there with a confused expression. Wait for my older brother Xian. Wang Fuguei quickly chased after him and went to the cafeteria. He treated Lin Xian to a lot of good food. So attentive today? Lin Xian laughed as he ate a drumstick. Hee, as your younger brother, this is what I should do. That. Older brother Xian, can you teach your younger brother how to pick up girls? Wang Fuguei scratched his head and said embarrassedly, why did you suddenly think of this? Lin Xian looked at Wang Fuguei with a face of surprise. Wang Fuguei said shyly, I've taken a fancy to a girl in my class, hee. As he spoke, he laughed embarrassedly. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. This Wang Fuguei's family is rich, but his personality is weak. He only knows how to flirt with him, but he's the kind of person that a normal person can bully. He doesn't dare to talk back to others. This is the first time Lin Xian has heard him muster up the courage to say that he likes a girl. It must be true. To be honest, Lin Xian is quite happy for him. Older brother Xian, you have so many beautiful girls by your side. Yi, Lu Yufan and Wang Xintong. You even have a good relationship with Miss Xiao. I want to know how you did it. What's that girl's name? Lu Junjun. She's also at the Qi building 5 stars. Lin Xian's heart was actually very flustered, okay? He knows how to chase girls. Chase my ass. But he knows a little. First of all, you have to be as handsome as me. Wang Fuguei. As he spoke, Wang Fuguei weighed the fat on his stomach with an aggrieved expression. Lin Xian rubbed his forehead. Alright, or you have to be very strong for her to worship you. Wang Fuguei. Lin Xian looked at Wang Fuguei. It seems that he doesn't have either of those. Can I have money? Wang Fuguei asked. This seems to be fine. The main thing is to see what kind of girl she is. Let's eat first. When I'm free, I'll take a look for you. Hee then. Then I'll have to trouble you, older brother Xian. This is just a small token of my appreciation. Wang Fuguei pushed a card to Lin Xian with a smile. Lin Xian quietly took it away. After eating, the two chatted as they walked towards the Sky Marshal Court. However, Lin Xian saw an acquaintance. Lin Xian. Zhao Mingyue immediately gritted her teeth when she saw Lin Xian. It was as though she had seen an irreconcilable enemy. Lin Xian was now considered a celebrity in Tianhua Academy. His appearance naturally attracted a lot of attention. Zhao Mingyue was currently holding onto another man's arm. Lin Xian had never seen this man before. Oh, you've changed boyfriends again? Wasn't it someone from the advanced class yesterday? Changing boyfriends every day, TSK. Lin Xian admired Zhao Mingyue in his heart. She was too awesome. Zhao Mingyue's new boyfriend was not strong. It seemed like he was just a rich second generation. Lin Xian said something, yet he did not dare to refute. He probably knew about Lin Xian's recent reputation in the Sky Marshal Court. Lin Xian, don't be so arrogant. Don't think that I can't teach you a lesson. Zhao Mingyue pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily. I'm arrogant? May I ask who was the one who hired someone to beat me up? Lin Xian sneered as he walked over. Zhao Mingyue smiled disdainfully and pointed at Lin Xian. Beating you up is already an honor. Who do you think you are? Don't point your finger at me. Disgusting. What did you say? Zhao Mingyue gritted her teeth. Lin Xian sneered. This woman was really disgusting. Get lost. Lin Xian could not be bothered with her. He turned around and prepared to leave. Lin Xian, you're a piece of trash. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you defeated a few people in the Sky Marshal Court. I really don't know how you had the face to confess to Yi. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed, and a murderous intent was released. He did not want to bother with her, but this woman really disgusted him. Chapter 52. Seeing Lin Xian walk towards her, Zhao Mingyue didn't panic. What? You want to hit me because of what I said? You dare to hit a woman? Zhao Mingyue sneered at Lin Xian. A man hitting a woman has always been ridiculed. Lin Xian laughed. No, I'm a good citizen. I never hit a woman. With that, Lin Xian gave her a backhand slap. Pa! Ding! Successfully slapped a big sister. This is the behavior of a scumbag. Scumbag value plus 500,000. The crisp sound of the slap stunned everyone. Zhao Mingyue was slapped to the ground by Lin Xian. She covered her face and lay there in disbelief. But that was before. Lin Xian swaggered off after saying this. Everyone was flabbergasted. F***ck. This Lin Xian is amazing. He really hit a woman. But why did it feel so good? Lin Xian, I want you to die a horrible death. Zhao Mingyue clenched her teeth, and her eyes shot out killing intent and resentment. F***ck. Big brother Xian, you're awesome. Hitting a woman, you're F***king invincible. Wang Fugui followed behind Lin Xian and wanted to worship him. Woman. Lin Xian sneered. Don't disgust me. That person is simply an insult to the word woman. That's true. She changes boyfriends every day. Even the bus isn't this busy. I really don't understand how she can stand it down there. Lin Xian. Okay, you go back to class first. When I have time, I'll help you find that Lu Junjun. And then I'll have to trouble big brother Xian. Then Wang Fugui happily ran away. He felt that with Lin Xian, he would definitely be able to help him deal with Lu Junjun. At that time, Wang Fugui, would no longer be a single dog. Wahahaha. Lin Xian then entered the virtual combat room. Out of the several hundred students in the beginner class, half of them were currently in the virtual combat room. Because there were only a few days left before the real battle with the demonic beasts, Lin Xian went out after a little more than an hour. Because he had gone to look for Wang Xintong. Wang Xintong wasn't done yet. She was at 70%, and there was still 30% left. Wang Xintong's reward was a spiritual equipment called Thousand Evils. Lin Xian did not know what Wanxie was. Was it a weapon? Defensive equipment? He wasn't sure, but from the name, it seemed very powerful. Moreover, Lin Xian only had one spiritual equipment on him, and it was the Dragon Rain sword that Xiao Runing gave him. It was an 8-star yellow rank spiritual equipment. For now he had a weapon, and its grade was passable. However, Lin Xian also wanted a defensive spiritual equipment. It was something that he could wear on his body. A powerful defensive spiritual equipment could even offset a lot of force damage until the spiritual equipment was damaged. For example, Lin Xian was currently at the 9-star spirit condensation realm. If he met a demonic beast of the same realm, and the demonic beast clawed at Lin Xian's chest, it could injure him, or even seriously injure him. However, if he had a decent spiritual equipment on his body, it could reduce the damage by 10% or 20%. The most powerful defensive spirit tools were not armors or the like, but ordinary clothes, skirts, and so on. They looked no different from clothes, but they were high-grade spirit tools. This kind of thing was too rare, and only some very powerful martial artists could have them. Anyway, Lin Xian had never seen it before. Is that woman from before dead or not? Lin Xian walked on the road, and recalled the Netherworld Flame Lion he met in the demonic beast domain. There was a seriously injured woman whose face was covered in blood. At that time, a mission was triggered, and the mission reward was a sword move, which was a martial skill that Lin Xian released with his sword. It was even more powerful. He didn't know if she was dead or not. Even if she wasn't dead, Lin Xian didn't know who she was. Even if he wanted to find her, he couldn't. Fortunately, this mission didn't have any punishment, otherwise, Lin Xian would be embarrassed. Thinking about it, Lin Xian arrived at the intermediate class area. Now Lin Xian was very famous in the intermediate class. He beat up a group of experts in the intermediate class. Although they didn't like Lin Xian, no one dared to make a move. This Lin Xian was too strong. Probably only the advanced class could deal with him. But the advanced class, they also received the news that Lin Xian beat up a 1-star spirit condensation expert in the advanced class. This was too exaggerated. Hello Arabaldi. Good afternoon everyone. Lin Xian waved his hand at the intermediate class people who were training. Lin Xian, what are you doing here? Someone asked in a bad mood. Don't worry, I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for my girlfriend Xintong. You guys continue to train. After saying that, Lin Xian entered the first class. Some of the students in the first class were studying and learning some knowledge. When they looked up and saw Lin Xian standing at the door, they were stunned. Lin Xian. Chen Jie glared at Lin Xian. Of course, he didn't dare to say anything. This bastard is too fierce. What are you doing here again? Chen Jie frowned. I'm looking for my girlfriend. What does it have to do with you? Go to your class. After saying that, Lin Xian walked towards Wang Xintong. Wang Xintong was sitting next to a chubby girl, and Lin Xian was standing next to her. Pretty big sister. I want to sit with my girlfriend. So can you move aside? That big sister was stunned for a moment, and then walked away with her book. Ding! Feeling dissatisfaction from big sister. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Wow! That big sister was dissatisfied. But she didn't dare to say anything. She knew how fierce Lin Xian was, so she didn't dare to say anything. What are you doing here? Wang Xintong frowned and looked at Lin Xian. When Lin Xian pinched her butt, Wang Xintong was furious. I missed you and wanted to see you. Lin Xian smiled sweetly. Boring. Wang Xintong didn't buy Lin Xian's nonsense. She turned her head and ignored Lin Xian, and continued reading her book. What are you reading? Lin Xian leaned over and smelled the faint fragrance on Wang Xintong's body. Wang Xintong ignored Lin Xian. Are you angry? Lin Xian asked. Wang Xintong. Are you angry at me for pinching your butt that day? Ding. Feeling shyness from big sister. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Mission progress, 80%. Lin Xian laughed in his heart. As expected, she cared a lot about this matter, and became shy when it was brought up. Don't say it. Wang Xintong gritted her teeth, and looked at Lin Xian. Okay, I won't say it. Then Lin Xian casually took a book in front of Wang Xintong, and started reading. After reading for about 30 seconds, Lin Xian suddenly said, Actually, I could have pinched your butt at that time. Ding. Feeling shyness from big sister. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Mission progress, 90%. You're still talking. I'm angry. Wang Xintong did look a little angry. Some girls can be flirted with, but some have to pay attention to their limits. Lin Xian quickly said, I didn't mean to tease you. I just wanted to explain it to you. Wang Xintong then looked at Lin Xian seriously and said, Okay, then explain. I'll listen to your explanation. Chapter 53. Lin Xian then met her gaze. Wang Xintong looked at him for a second, then turned her face to the side. She had never really looked into a man's eyes before. It was said that experts had conducted an experiment. If a man and a woman looked at each other for more than 17 seconds, they would easily develop feelings for each other. Lin Xian didn't know if it was true or not, but he knew that it was almost impossible. Usually, it was impossible for a man and a woman to look at each other for so long. If they could look at each other for so long, there must be a reason. Perhaps they liked each other. So Lin Xian felt that it was all nonsense. Then Lin Xian said, Actually, the reason why I pinched you that day was because it was an accident at the beginning. Accident? Wang Xintong sneered in her heart. Accidentally touching could be an accident, but pinching could be an accident? Impossible. It must have been intentional. Yeah, weren't we fighting at that time? I just happened to rush past you, because you're also my opponent. My attack frequency was too fast. At that moment, I actually wanted to attack you because I didn't notice it was you. That's right. Wang Xintong frowned slightly. Lin Xian then continued to talk nonsense. You should remember my attack method at that time, right? Wang Xintong didn't say anything. At that time, I either punched my opponent down or kicked him off the stage. At that time, I just happened to rush behind you and subconsciously wanted to attack you. But I suddenly realized it was you. How could I attack you? But I had already thrown a punch. At the last 0.01 seconds, I reacted to my limit and pulled back, but my hand had already reached out. It was already too late. And that punch was going to hit you. I was worried that it would hurt if my fist hit you. So I quickly opened my fist and turned it into a palm. In the end, it was my palm that touched you. Otherwise, it would have been a punch. Then why did you pinch it? Lin Xian shrugged and said, Actually, it's not a pinch. Think about it. At that time, I had spiritual energy and was quite strong. I've already restrained a lot of it, but I'm still a bit strong. That's why it felt like I was pinching you with my strength. Actually, that's not the case. It's just because I'm strong. Really? Wang Xintong was skeptical. Actually, what Lin Xian said made some sense. During the battle, Lin Xian had punched her. At the last minute, he had changed the direction of his fist to his palm. This way, the damage would be much smaller. His palm had coincidentally touched her perky buttocks. Because the attack had been very forceful, even if he had held back, it was still too late. Therefore, there would still be some force. The force acting on her perky buttocks felt like a pinch, but it could also be real. No. Suddenly, Wang Xintong reacted. Then, she stared at Lin Xian and asked, even if you wanted to attack, you would normally attack the back. But what you touched was you're still acting like a hooligan. Hello? Lin Xian didn't expect this girl to be so smart. AI, it's up to you to believe it or not. Anyway, that's what I said. It's up to you to believe it or not. But right now, I still insist on my point. I want you to be my girlfriend. Lin Xian said with a serious face. Of course, Wang Xintong didn't believe him. Weren't you chasing after Yi? Wang Xintong said. Yeah, I didn't manage to catch up to her. So I spread the net wide. I can't just hang on one tree. I have to try a few more. Scumbag, Wang Xintong muttered. Then, she decisively ignored Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged. The last 10% was so difficult. There was only 10% left. Lin Xian didn't care what these girls thought of him. He met them, and got to know them, because of the scumbag system's mission. To put it bluntly, Lin Xian did use them. Calling him a scumbag seemed reasonable, but there was nothing wrong with it. This system was a scumbag system to begin with. To think that a good student like him would one day become a scumbag, it really didn't feel good. At this moment, a teacher walked in and said to everyone, "We'll start class now. Today we'll be teaching theory." At this moment, Chen Jie stood up and said, "Teacher Chung, there's someone from the beginner class in our class. We should chase him out first." And Cheng Qing looked at Chen Jie and asked, "Who?" Chen Jie pointed at Lin Xian and said, "It's him." Cheng Qing looked at Lin Xian and recognized him. Lin Xian. Lin Xian was speechless. Was he so popular that all the teachers recognized him? Then Lin Xian stood up and said, "Teacher Chung, students are supposed to study. I think it shouldn't be a problem for me to study in the intermediate class, right?" Cheng Qing adjusted his glasses and nodded. Of course it shouldn't be a problem. Although you're a beginner class student, your strength has reached the intermediate class standard. You should be able to study here. But have you reported to Miss Xiao? Lin Xian shook his head. Not yet. Then Cheng Qing nodded. And then you take a seat first. I'll talk to Miss Xiao about you. Everyone study by yourselves first. Then Cheng Qing walked out. Strange. Lin Xian rubbed his chin and sat down. This Cheng Qing gave Lin Xian a feeling that he had an ulterior motive. At this moment, Cheng Qing walked out, his heart filled with joy. Lin Xian, not bad. You've given me a topic to chat with Miss Xiao. That's right. Cheng Qing was a teacher, but at the same time, he admired Xiao Runing. He was worried that he wouldn't have a reasonable reason to get close to Xiao Runing and chat with her. Now that Lin Xian had given him this opportunity, of course he had to seize it. This teacher Chung is one of Miss Xiao's admirers. You've given him a topic to chat with Miss Xiao, Wang Xintong said to Lin Xian. I knew it. A damn teacher actually abandoned a bunch of students to talk to Miss Xiao about me during his lesson. No matter how I think about it, I don't think I have that much face. So he's trying to get close to Miss Xiao. Wang Xintong said. That's why Miss Xiao hates you to death. In school, she doesn't dare to say that the students like her. But the teachers can. This teacher Ching used to annoy Miss Xiao a lot. How do you know so much? Lin Xian looked at Wang Xintong in surprise. Wang Xintong said, because I was Miss Xiao's student when I was in the beginner class. Of course I know a lot. You should think about how to explain it to Miss Xiao. Lin Xian shrugged. What's there to explain? Even if she knows that I did it, would she publicly mess with me? Wang Xintong looked at Lin Xian and said, Miss Xiao really dares to publicly make things difficult for you. Lin Xian thought about it. F***ck. That's true. This Xiao Runing could not be looked at with the common sense of a teacher. However, he had something on Xiao Runing. He had kissed her before. He didn't believe that Xiao Runing would dare to do anything. Chapter 54. Thinking of this, Lin Xian quickly stood up. Xintong, I'll leave first. I'll find you tomorrow. With that, Lin Xian rushed out of the intermediate class. Bastard! Wang Xintong clenched her teeth. This Lin Xian was simply infuriating. At this moment, Lin Xian was rushing towards Xiao Runing's office. Damn! He had to settle this matter before that Cheng Cheng really harassed Xiao Runing. Otherwise, Xiao Runing would bear a grudge against him. Bang! Lin Xian pushed open the door to Xiao Runing's office. Sure enough, Cheng Cheng and Xiao Runing were sitting in front of each other, chatting about something. Xiao Runing definitely didn't want to chat with him, but out of politeness, he didn't want to chase her away. Lin Xian, why are you here? Cheng Cheng pushed up his glasses and looked at Lin Xian, cursing in his heart. Why is he here? Isn't he in class? Lin Xian coughed dryly, then said, Oh, I suddenly remembered that I had something to discuss with Miss Xiao, so I came. I didn't think that Teacher Cheng would be here too. Xiao Runing seemed to have grasped at a life-saving straw. She looked at Lin Xian and said seriously, And Teacher Cheng and I were just talking about you. Since you have something to do, you should stay. Teacher Cheng, regarding this matter, I'll discuss it with Lin Xian in detail. Since Xiao Runing had already said this, Cheng Cheng naturally knew that he should leave. It wouldn't be appropriate for him to stay here. Then he stood up and patted Lin Xian's shoulder, then said to Xiao Runing, Lin Xian's talent isn't bad. I also have high hopes for him. You guys chat, I'll leave first. Take care, Teacher Cheng. After Cheng Cheng left, Xiao Runing stared at Lin Xian. Tell me, what trouble have you caused me this time? Lin Xian said with an aggrieved face. How would I know that Teacher Cheng is also one of your admirers? I just got the news and rushed over to help you out. Xiao Runing helplessly rubbed her forehead and said, This Cheng Cheng has always been bothering me since I was in the beginner class. Later, he was assigned to the intermediate class by the academy. It wasn't easy for him to come over and strike up a conversation with me when there wasn't anything to talk about. You're good, sending the topic to his mouth. Lin Xian shrugged and said helplessly, I didn't do it on purpose, but there is a way for you to avoid being harassed by him, and even avoid being harassed by all of your pursuers. Oh, what? Xiao Runing was very curious. Being too beautiful was also a troublesome thing. Lin Xian chuckled and said, It's simple. Just announce to the public that you have a boyfriend, and your boyfriend is me. As for the rest of the suitors, I'll help you block them. Go to hell. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. What would happen if she announced to the public? A teacher-student relationship? He would be scolded to death by the people outside. Up to you. I'm going back. Wait a minute. Xiao Runing called out to Lin Xian, then said, There are 3 more days before we go out for training. You said you went to the beast territory alone, right? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, but it wasn't too far. Why? Xiao Runing said, Then you can do me a favor. I don't have much time in the academy these few days. Xiao Runing then took a letter from the table and threw it to Lin Xian, saying, Take this letter to the Bounty Hunter Guild's Li Tianshou. They will send a strong team to Deep Freeze Valley tonight. What you need to do is follow them. When you reach Deep Freeze Valley, help me keep an eye out for Deep Freeze Spirit Crystals. If you can find them, help me get a few pieces back. Lin Xian was stunned, then said, Since you know that they're going, and you know the members of that team, you can just ask them to help you. Why do you need me to go? Lin Xian said helplessly. Xiao Runing said, You don't understand. Asking them to help me means that I owe them a favor. They're the ones helping me. If you go, they'll just be taking care of you. I'll just treat them to a meal when the time comes. Oh, another one of your pursuers? Lin Xian's mouth curled up. Xiao Runing said, There's nothing I can do about it. This time, a high-grade demonic beast like the Nether Flame Lion Beast appeared outside Tianhua City. I'm even worried about some things. I can ask someone to rush out some active offensive spirit weapons for you guys to equip in the next 2 days. It's safer. I don't want anything to happen to you. So it's for us. Lin Xian came to a realization, then nodded. Sure, but what's the benefit? Xiao Runing knew that Lin Xian would say this. She laughed and said, benefits, if you do it well, I'll give you a profound rank sword skill. How about it? Lin Xian's eyes lit up. F***ck. Profound rank sword skills should be sold for at least 10 million, right? This Xiao Runing was not simple. Lin Xian had long known that she was not simple. Ning Ning, so you're Miss Perfect. Lin Xian chuckled. Xiao Runing suddenly released a cold aura. Don't call me Ning Ning. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders and pretended not to hear it. Alright, but can I know who you are? An ordinary instructor can't casually take out these things. 8-star yellow rank spirit weapon, profound rank sword skill, TSK. Xiao Runing said. I've never said that I'm just an ordinary instructor. As for my identity, maybe you'll find out in the future. I won't tell you now. I'll give you a day off. You'd better help me settle this matter. No problem. However, I have read about the Deep Frost Spirit Crystal in books. Although it is not considered rare, the Deep Frost Valley is only 20 kilometers away from Tianhua City. It is not considered very far. I am afraid that even if there is a Deep Frost Spirit Crystal, it would have been taken away by someone else, let alone 10 pieces. Therefore, I can only try my luck. I know, but they want to go deep into Deep Freeze Valley. Keep an eye on them and don't force them. You have to be careful and obey their orders. Don't cause trouble for me. And don't go into the extreme cold. What Xiao Runing was most afraid of was Lin Xian causing all kinds of trouble. This guy was too good at causing trouble. I'll try my best. Xiao Runing, if you cause trouble for me, don't even think about getting the profound rank sword skill. Okay. I won't cause trouble. I won't cause trouble. Lin Xian smiled helplessly. For the sake of the profound rank sword skill, he couldn't cause trouble. For a profound rank sword skill, even a profound rank 1-star sword skill would definitely start at 10 million. Lin Xian was actually quite touched. Xiao Runing was really good to him. Most of the time she wouldn't show it. Just like Linya, she was actually secretly concerned about him. They're leaving at 8 p.m. tonight. They're expected to arrive at 9 p.m. Go home and tell your sister. If not, I'll do it for you. There shouldn't be any danger. That team is quite strong. Furthermore, Deep Cold Valley isn't too dangerous for them. If there's an accident, what Xiao Runing feared the most was this kind of accident. This kind of thing was really hard to say. Chapter 55. Forget it. After thinking about it, Xiao Runing decided to give up. She then said to Lin Xian, don't go. I'm worried that something might happen. It's hard to say what happens in the beast domain. Don't. I'm not afraid. What are you afraid of? I'll go. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Xiao Runing hesitated for a moment before nodding. Then remember, don't be separated from them no matter what. I know. Can I go home now? I want to go home early. Alright, I'll give you a break. My dear, bye-bye. Lin Xian said sweetly. Before Xiao Runing could go berserk, Lin Xian had already run out. Bastard. Xiao Runing was angry and amused at the same time. At this moment, Lin Xian was humming a song as he swaggered out of Tianhua Academy. He wanted to keep a low profile. Although he had a car at home, he did not drive to school. At this time, Xiao Runing was probably still in the office. Lin Xian wanted to give her a big surprise. On the way home, he bought a lot of ingredients. When he reached home, Lin Xian began to get busy. After 2.5 hours, he made a table full of delicious food. It looked, smelled, and tasted good. It was simply too sumptuous. The table's automatic heating function was turned on. The entire table was very hot, and the food would not turn cold. Looking at the time, there was still 1.5 hours before Linya's usual time to go home. Lin Xian then put on his clothes and shoes, and went to Linya's office. Linya's company wasn't considered big. Its main business was clothing. Of course, it wasn't ordinary clothing, but clothing that had some additional attributes. For example, clothes with fire attributes would make one feel especially warm in winter. It was common to see people wearing a t-shirt in the middle of winter, and that would be fire attributes. In summer, there were clothes with water attributes, and there were even clothes with wind attributes that could make one run a little faster. The effect wasn't too great, but it was a little. Of course, the price was also quite high. It was targeted at some of the wealthier groups. Of course, there were also ordinary clothes. The company's annual turnover wasn't too high. Linya had 60% of the shares, which meant that she had around 30 million yuan. Actually, it was already quite high. The company's annual net profit was close to 100 million yuan. This was also thanks to Linya's hard work. During that period of time, Lin Xian often saw that she didn't sleep in the middle of the night. Sometimes, she didn't even go home in the middle of the night. The company had just started, and there was no money. She was practically supporting it alone. Thinking about that time, Lin Xian's heart ached. Why was he still degenerate at that time? How good would it be if he could share some of the burden with Linya? Then she wouldn't be so tired. Linya's company had a dedicated building. This building had a total of 36 floors. From the first floor to the 12th floor, Linya's company was occupied. The 24th floor was occupied by another company. Lin Xian hummed a little tune as he walked into the company. The receptionist immediately greeted him with a welcome. "Hi, Miss Hongya, you're so beautiful." Lin Xian said sweetly. "Oh, it's young master Lin Xian." Lu Hongya smiled faintly as she looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian had met Lu Hongya a few times before. He had a slight impression of her. She was quite pretty and young. She lived in a village in Tianhua City. However, a year ago, a demonic beast suddenly crossed the barrier and entered the city. Lu Hongya's village was massacred by the demonic beast. There weren't many survivors. Her family members also died there. She and her brother relied on each other for survival. The two siblings came to the city to find a job. Then they came to Linya's company. Linya might seem cold on the surface, but she was very kind inside. She and Lin Xian had lived a hard life, so she specially gave Lu Hongya a high salary. Moreover, Linya's company sold ordinary clothes below the market price. Otherwise, they would have earned more. "I'm here to look for my sister. Sister Yaya is in a meeting," Lu Hongya hurriedly said. "Okay, I'll go take a look." By Sister Hongya. After saying that, Lin Xian took the elevator to the 12th floor. That's strange. Young Master Lin is much more cheerful than before. Lu Hongya was slightly surprised. The 12th floor was a meeting building. At the same time, it was also a restaurant. This was one of the reasons why everyone liked to work here. Other office companies basically didn't provide meals. When it was time to eat, they either ordered takeout or went downstairs to eat. However, Ling especially set up a restaurant and hired a chef. In any case, she treated the employees very well. Ka! Lin Xian pushed open the door of the meeting room and walked in. Suddenly, more than 20 people's gazes fell on Lin Xian. At the front, Linya was talking to a large screen. When she saw Lin Xian, she was also surprised. "Little Xian, I'm in a meeting. If there's anything, go outside and wait for me," Linya said to Lin Xian. Not many of these people had seen Lin Xian before. Only a few knew him. Most of them didn't know the relationship between Lin Xian and Linya. Lin Xian smiled. "I'll sit at the back and listen. I'll learn." Linya nodded slightly and then nodded. "Okay." After that, Lin Xian sat at the back and didn't say a word. He then watched Linya's speech. At this moment, Linya was cold and aloof. She revealed an aura that kept people away. Her face didn't have much expression. Those who didn't know her would think that she was an ice beauty, who was difficult to get along with. Yes, Linya was indeed an ice beauty. However, those who knew her well knew that she wouldn't show her concern on her face. She would only show it through her actions. Lin Xian smiled as he looked at Linya, who was giving a speech in front of him. Linya was really beautiful at this moment. "So, I want to know which factory produced the problematic clothes?" Linya's beautiful eyes swept across the crowd. A man slowly raised his hand. "It's the clothes from the factory in Tianhai County that I'm in charge of." Linya sat down as if in deep thought. After a while she said, I'll give you 2 days to investigate this matter. Yes, Boss Lin. Okay, the meeting is over. After that, they all walked out. Linya organized the documents and then looked at Lin Xian and asked, "Why are you here?" "I'm here to see my little fairy." Lin Xian smiled as he walked over. Then he said, "Little fairy, you're really charming outside." Ding. Feeling the shyness from little sister, scum man value plus 20,000. Linya poured a cup of water for Lin Xian and placed it in front of him. "How can you talk to your sister like that? School ended so early today?" Lin Xian smiled. "I didn't have anything to do, so I came out early. After all, you know that I'm quite outstanding. I get along well with my classmates and teachers." Shameless. Linya rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. "Right, I heard you say that there's a problem with the clothes? What happened?" Lin Xian suddenly asked. Linya had always focused on reputation. She wouldn't allow anyone to cut corners in order to make money. Even if she temporarily lost money, she would still do her best. She wouldn't let down her conscience and customers. Hearing Lin Xian's question, Linya sighed. Chapter 56. In the past few years, because of Linya's sincerity, almost nothing happened to the company. Because she had never done anything evil, she wasn't afraid of any problems. If she didn't do anything wrong, she wouldn't be afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. But she didn't expect that even so, there was still a problem. Linya took a sip of tea and said, "There's a problem with the goods from a factory in Yunhai County." "What problem?" Lin Xian asked. He never paid attention to these things before. But now Lin Xian hoped that he had the ability to solve Linya's problems, because she was too tired these years. A batch of high-end clothes, but they don't have any attribute effects. The so-called high-end clothes Linya mentioned were clothes that could be worn to make one warmer or cooler in summer. Clothes with various attribute powers, the biggest highlight was this. However, these clothes didn't have the effect they should have, and became ordinary clothes. The price was still so expensive, so naturally, people weren't happy. No effect. Didn't they put any attribute crystals? Linya said, they should have. It's impossible to make such a big mistake. There's probably a problem with that batch of crystals. Let them check it first. If it doesn't work, I'll go and take a look. In fact, if this kind of thing happened, Linya would definitely rush to Yunhai County and personally investigate it. The reason why she didn't go was because Lin Xian came to find her. So she chose Lin Xian between the two. It was enough to see what kind of position Lin Xian occupied in Linya's heart. And there shouldn't be too big of a problem. If it really doesn't work, I'll help you take a look. You? Linya looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Lin Xian smiled. What? I'm the person you love the most. Don't you believe me? Go go go. Linya rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Ding. Feeling the joy from the little sister's heart. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Poochie. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh when he heard the system notification. Then he took out 3 experience fruits and handed them to Linya, saying, "Eat this. It can help you level up a little more." Linya didn't know where Lin Xian got his hands on such a miraculous item. But since he didn't say anything, Linya didn't continue to ask. Okay. She took it and gently nodded her little head. In the past few days, Lin Xian had obtained a lot of scum man points. He had more than 2 million scum man points. He had just exchanged all of them for experience fruits, and gave 3 to Linya. He could give more, but he wanted to give it to her slowly, so that she could get used to it. The remaining Lin Xian had not eaten yet, but it was enough for him to advance to 10 stars of spirit condensation realm. Linya's aura dissipated slightly as she stared at Lin Xian and asked, "What business do you have with me?" "Nothing. I just came to take you home." Linya was slightly stunned, then slightly nodded. "Okay, I'll pack up and go home. You can wait in my office first." After that, Linya and Lin Xian walked away. Linya packed her things in the office and took her bag with her. Lin Xian also stuffed all the experience fruits into his mouth. His mouth was wide open. Ding! Your level has increased to 10 stars of spirit condensation realm. This was why Lin Xian was invincible. He didn't need to kill demon beasts to level up. Then he looked at his status. Name, Lin Xian. Age, 21 realm. 10 stars of spirit condensation realm level. 20 experience points. 1100415000 scum man points. 1800 strength. 417 vitality. 436 agility. 395 spirit. 395 spiritual energy. 1650 talent. Imperial medical sacred art martial skills. Spirit eye. 5 thunder constellation. Star fist. Chi condensation strike. Speed shadow spiritual equipment. Dragon rain sword attributes. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder permanently available. Darkness, light, space, time, all attributes. Can be used once. Permanently available when enough attribute power is obtained. His attributes had almost reached 400 points, which was already very exaggerated. But what was even more exaggerated was the experience points. More than 20,000 experience points, which meant that if he wanted to level up from 10 stars of spirit condensation realm to arcane body realm, he would need 40 experience fruits. 40 experience fruits would be 4 million. This, usually, when he flirted with girls, he would get 10 to 20,000 experience points. Only when he reached a higher level could he get a few 100,000 more experience points, such as pinching Wang Xintongs, but in kissing Xiao Runing. But those opportunities were too rare. This level was a huge leap, and it was the most difficult to cross a huge realm. Right now, it might take 41,500 experience points to advance to Xian Body Realm. However, after advancing to Xian Body Realm, from 1 star to 2 star Xian Body Realm, it might only take 20 to 30,000 experience points. Because this was a huge leap, the amount of experience points required was exceptionally high. It was the same as the bottleneck in cultivation. Cultivating, a person might need 10 years to level up to a certain realm, but 5 of those years would be when they were stuck at a bottleneck. That was the most difficult time to break through. So this was the same logic. Okay. Linya put on her bag and looked at Lin Xian. Okay, let's go. Then Lin Xian and Linya walked out one after another. What? Linya, who had just walked out, saw Lin Xian stop and looked at him suspiciously. Lin Xian stretched out his arm towards Linya and said, "Hold my arm and walk." Linya, "No. Let's go home." "No fun." Lin Xian shrugged. It wasn't only couples who would hold a guy's arm. There were plenty of siblings who would do this. On the day they went out to play, Linya held Lin Xian's arm for the whole day, but she didn't hold his arm today. Lin Xian obviously knew the reason. It was because this was Linya's company. She had a cold image in everyone's eyes, so Linya wouldn't act like this in front of her colleagues. Of course it wasn't an act. She just wasn't used to it. Linya drove Lin Xian home quickly. "It's so hot. Did you turn on the air conditioner?" Linya was slightly stunned when she opened the door. But there was no need to turn on the air conditioner at this time. I turned on the thermostat on the table. Otherwise, the food would have turned cold. Lin Xian walked over from behind and said as he changed his shoes. At this time, Linya noticed that the table was filled with food. It looked very sumptuous and appetizing. "You." Linya looked at Lin Xian. She opened her small mouth, but only one word came out. She didn't know what else to say. "Hurry up and wash your hands. It's time to eat." Lin Xian pinched her pink cheeks and smiled. Linya's small face blushed slightly. She hurriedly slapped Lin Xian's hand away and asked, "You made this?" "Of course. I came back early today and bought some ingredients. Then I cooked this meal. Let me show you my cooking." "When did you become so good at cooking?" Linya looked at the food. Although she hadn't tasted it yet, the appearance was already perfect. Chapter 57. Lin Xian paused for a moment. In his memory, the owner of this body had never learned how to cook, and in the 3 years that he had been here, it was Linya who had served him. He had almost never cooked. Lin Xian's delicious noodles that morning had already shocked Linya. Now that there was a table full of delicious food, she was even more shocked. Then Lin Xian started to bullshit. "I've actually been learning for a long time, but you didn't know. Hurry up and try it, then evaluate it." Linya then washed her hands and sat at the dining table. She adjusted the temperature of the table, and the table cooled down in a minute. Then, Linya picked up a piece of food and put it into her mouth like a lady. How is it? Lin Xian looked at Linya expectantly. These were all dishes that he knew how to cook on Earth. He didn't know if they would suit Linya's taste. You really made this? Linya looked at Lin Xian in shock. Of course. Is it good? It's good. Linya nodded slightly. Lin Xian smiled. It's good that it's good. Eat more. Finish it all. I'm not a pig. How can I eat so much? Linya mumbled softly. Lin Xian smiled. Then I'll raise you until you're white and fat. I'll raise you into a pig. Linya rolled her eyes at Lin Xian, but her heart was filled with sweetness. Ding. Feeling the happiness from this big sister. Scumbag man value plus 20,000. Lin Xian then said, in the future, if I come home a little earlier, I'll make the food. You just need to rest. Linya shook her head. No, I'll do it. You can do it occasionally. Actually, when Lin Xian said this, Linya felt very sweet. She was very touched, but she also felt a sense of loss. She felt that Lin Xian seemed to be getting more and more powerful, and it seemed like she was becoming more and more unable to help him. Lin Xian even knew how to cook. If she couldn't even cook for Lin Xian, then she really felt that she was useless. Ding. Feeling the disappointment from the little sister, scumbag man value plus 40,000. Lin Xian was stunned when he heard the system notification. Disappointed? Why would he be disappointed? Suddenly, he seemed to have understood something and said, I'm just teasing you. I'm so bored that I cook every day. Moreover, the food I cook isn't as good as the food you cook. I still like the food you cook, so you still have to cook for me. Let's see if the girlfriend you find in the future can stand you. Linya rolled her eyes at Lin Xian, but when she heard his words, she felt very happy. In fact, Lin Xian still needed her. When they were eating, Lin Xian said, I'm going out later. Going out again? Linya frowned as she looked at Lin Xian. It wasn't that she cared about Lin Xian, but that she was afraid that something would happen to Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded slightly. Where are you going this time? Is it still at that female teacher's house? Lin Xian. Damn. What do you mean? Lin Xian was stunned. How did Linya know that he was at Xiao Runing's house? Didn't she say that she was at the school trial? Linya shook her phone and said softly, Did you forget that your phone is tied to mine? Lin Xian slapped his forehead. That night when he went to the beast territory, he made Linya worried. After that, their phones were tied to each other's location. Within a certain range, they could know each other's location. F***CK. How could he forget about this? So embarrassing. And Linya? After the call, she looked at the location. Where was the school? They were clearly in the same neighborhood. Moreover, they didn't change locations the entire night. That cough. Little fairy. I feel that I need to explain it to you. Lin Xian coughed awkwardly and continued. Actually, I was at her house that night. But it wasn't anything else. She just asked me for a favor, and the reward was this spirit tool. I thought that since I was lacking a spirit tool, why not? I was afraid that you would misunderstand, so I made it up. As he spoke, the dragon rain sword appeared in Lin Xian's hand. Linya nodded slightly. Then what about this time? Lin Xian didn't know whether Linya believed him or not. In short, it was so F***king embarrassing. Linya obviously believed him, but not completely. He spent the night at a female teacher's house. Even if he wanted to help, what could he do? Warm the bed. But since Lin Xian said so, Linya chose to believe him. She was just slightly disappointed. If Lin Xian really found a girlfriend, how would she feel? Lin Xian coughed dryly and said, This time, I have some matters to attend to in the demonic beast domain. But don't worry, I'm going with one of the stronger teams in the Bounty Hunter Guild, so there won't be any danger. Won't you be going to a more dangerous place if you're going with a stronger team? Linya looked at Lin Xian worriedly. Lin Xian said, Deep Cold Valley isn't that dangerous. Don't worry, trust me. Linya nodded and asked, When are you coming back? Hearing Linya's words, Lin Xian thought for a moment. Deep Cold Valley was 20 kilometers away from here. A round trip would take 2 hours. Lin Xian didn't know what they were going to do, so he wasn't sure how long it would take. Maybe during the day. Linya thought for a moment and said, But I heard that the beast territory outside Tianhua City isn't very peaceful recently. That was indeed the case. Recently, the number of powerful demonic beasts in the demonic beast domain outside Tianhua City had increased. Regarding this, the Divine Temple, the Magic Court, and even the Bounty Hunter Guild had sent out many experts to investigate. Something was not right, and they wanted to investigate it thoroughly. However, they had not found anything yet. Lin Xian nodded and said, "There is such a thing, but now that I have some strength, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Don't worry. Send me a message every hour." Lin Yi said. Perhaps this was the only way she could feel more at ease. She couldn't stop Lin Xian from doing what he wanted to do. The only thing she could do was to hope that he would be safe. Okay. Lin Xian smiled. He was very touched. If you don't treat this kind of woman well, is there any justice in the world? After dinner, Lin Xian and Lin Yi lay on the sofa and watched TV while chatting. Lin Xian was very comfortable lying on Lin Yi's long legs as a pillow. Looking at the time, it was already 7 o'clock. They left at 8 o'clock, so it was time for him to go. I'll go first. Lin Xian stood up. Lin Yi also stood up and helped him tidy his clothes. Finally, she said, "Be careful, don't forget to send me a message every hour. Give me a kiss." Lin Xian then moved his lips closer. Go. Lin Yi rolled her eyes at him, but one could see the worry in her eyes. I'm going. After that, Lin Xian left the house and directly took a taxi to Tianhua City's Bounty Hunter Guild. Chapter 58. Whether it was the Bounty Hunter Guild, the Holy Temple, or the Trial Union, they were the places that everyone paid attention to the most in every city. They might not know where the shopping malls and amusement parks were, but they definitely knew where the three organizations were located. The three organizations were located in the center of Tianhua City, and there were many counties around them. They were tens of kilometers apart, but they all had small branches. However, most people went to the Bounty Hunter Guild, and the other two organizations didn't have much interaction with each other. After taking a taxi, they arrived at the Bounty Hunter Guild in 10 minutes. How big was the Bounty Hunter Guild? It was a huge building with 23 floors, and it was all occupied by the Bounty Hunter Guild. But that wasn't all. There were many small branches in other counties, but this was the biggest organization in every city. Walking into the Bounty Hunter Guild, Lin Xian was shocked to see how many people there were. It could be regarded as a shopping mall. A shopping mall with more than 20 floors. There were many rooms inside, and that was where every registered bounty hunter mercenary group was located. In other words, if you posted a mission here, they would be the first to accept the mission and complete it. However, the mission could only be posted through the Bounty Hunter Guild. Of course, you had to pay for it. Ning Ming said that Li Tianshou's guild is called the Wind Mercenary Group. Which floor is it on? Lin Xian scratched his head and looked at the time. There was only half an hour left. Then he found a beautiful young lady in the Bounty Hunter Guild and asked sweetly, "Beautiful young lady, may I know which floor the Wind Mercenary Group is on?" Ding. Young lady has a favorable impression of you. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Lin Xian was speechless. What? How could this create a favorable impression? According to research, there were many titles for girls, such as beauty, goddess, and so on. However, most of the beautiful young ladies liked boys to call them young ladies. Lin Xian didn't believe it before, but now he did. Wait a moment, let me check. Then, the young lady quickly typed on the computer, and after 10 seconds she said, "It's on the 3rd floor." Thank you, young lady. Lin Xian waved and ran to the 3rd floor. It was just the 3rd floor. It would be faster to run than to wait for the elevator. With so many people, who knew how long they would have to wait? Upon arriving at the 3rd floor, Lin Xian looked at the signboards of the various shops, in search of the Gale Mercenary Group. These mercenary groups actually made a living in this line of work. They could spend money and qualify to register as a mercenary group in the Bounty Hunter Guild. Those with money would rent a shop as their base camp. Hence, these mercenary groups cared a lot about their reputation. If their reputation was good, there would definitely be people who would point out their names and ask them to complete this mission. Currently, they also needed to pay money at the Bounty Hunter Guild. At the same time, the mercenary group would be willing to accept this mission. However, there were also some capable mercenary groups that didn't care at all. They only needed to complete the missions on the public chat. Soon Lin Xian found the Cyclone mercenary group. There was a brown signboard that gave off an antique vibe. Then, Lin Xian pushed open the door and walked in. After walking in, the whole place was decorated in an ancient style. It was quite beautiful, and there was a faint smell of coffee in the air. And this was a cafe. Of course, after work, they could open all kinds of small shops. Everyone would shop here to look for suitable mercenary groups. Occasionally, they would sit down and have a cup of coffee. There were only 3 people in the entire shop. One was an old man wearing glasses who was grinding coffee. One was a big-breasted girl in work clothes. And the other was a young girl sitting at a desk doing her homework. At that moment, Lin Xian had a feeling that he was too late, and that those people had already left. Welcome to the Cyclone mercenary group. The big-breasted girl walked to Lin Xian with a sweet smile. Lin Xian glanced at her. She was considered pretty, but not at the level of Yi. However, she was still a beauty. Lin Xian then took out the envelope that Xiao Runing gave him, and handed it over. Hello. I'm here to go on a mission with the Cyclone mercenary group. I'm here to look for Li Tianxiu. He should have mentioned it before. The girl looked at the envelope, and then handed it to the old man. The old man opened it and glanced at it before putting it aside. Then he looked at Lin Xian. You're the kid that Ning Ning was talking about. Have a seat. Qian, pour him a cup of coffee. Okay. From what he said, Xiao Runing must have called him to tell him. Then, the old man looked at Lin Xian and said, Tianxiu has something to do today, so he won't be going. However, the others are going. They should be gathering outside already. Then I'll go over now. Lin Xian quickly stood up. Then, the old man looked at the young girl doing her homework and said, Xiao Miao, bring him along. The girl's back was facing Lin Xian. Lin Xian could only see her twin ponytails. She should be pretty. Then, Xiao Miao stretched and stood up to look at Lin Xian. Only then did Lin Xian see her face clearly. She wasn't tall, probably less than 1.5 meters. However, she was very young, probably around 13 or 14 years old. However, she was very pretty. She had an oval face, and her facial features were very delicate, like a little elf. The bangs in front of her forehead were very mischievous. Especially her eyes, they were very pretty and lively. However, there was a hint of maturity in her eyes. It felt like she shouldn't have the eyes of someone her age. Ding! Congratulations on triggering the mission. Successful confession. Miao Xiao Miao. Mission penalty, -100 all attributes. Mission reward, Heaven Tier 10 star skill Carefree World. Current favorability, -5. Note, when the favorability reaches 50, there is a chance of a successful confession. The higher the favorability, the higher the chance. Mission duration 1 month. Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian's mind was filled with 10,000 alpacas. What's going on? Even a little lowly triggered a mission? Alright, if you triggered a mission, then so be it. If you triggered a mission to tease a young lady, then that would be enough. But this scumbag system triggered a mission to successfully confess to Miao Xiao Miao. What the hell? This was a 13 or 14-year-old little lowly, asking him to confess to a little lowly. Damn it. Moreover, this mission had a punishment, and the punishment was extremely severe. All attributes reduced by 100. Who could withstand that? Even Lin Xian didn't pay attention to what the reward was. Lin Xian felt the deep malice this scumbag system had towards him. You could have just gotten a 17 or 18-year-old lady to trigger this mission and have him confess to her. But you got a 13 or 14-year-old one. Who could withstand that? Moreover, Lin Xian looked at the first value that appeared. That was the girl's favorability towards him. Why? Why did this Miao Xiao Miao's favorability towards him turn into a negative number when he didn't do anything or say anything? Lin Xian roared in his heart. Chapter 59. He accepted his fate. Perhaps this was a scumbag, or perhaps this was the scumbag system. It was so scumbag that he had to chase after a 13 or 14-year-old lowly. Lin Xian's mouth twitched as he looked at Miao Xiaomiao. Miao Xiaomiao also looked at Lin Xian. Then, she turned her head to the side and swung her twin ponytails. Then she said in a sweet and childish voice with a tinge of arrogance and coldness, "No, let him go by himself." The old man smiled at Miao Xiaomiao and asked, "What's wrong? How did he offend you?" Lin Xian was also confused. That's right. How did he offend Miao Xiaomiao? From the moment they entered the room until now, they hadn't spoken a single word. They didn't even have any eye contact. So why was her favorable impression of him so inexplicably negative? Men are all bad. Lin Xian. If it wasn't for this mission, Lin Xian would have lifted her skirt and spanked her. Hey, little girl, you're hitting too many people. Lin Xian said helplessly. Who are you calling little girl? Miao Xiaomiao glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged. If it wasn't for this mission, why would he be like this? The main point was that this mission wasn't to flirt with the little girl, but to confess successfully. Then he needed to increase her impression of him. Although it was a little scumbag for a 21-year-old to chase after a 13 or 14-year-old lowly, Lin Xian was only doing this for the mission. That's right, only for the mission. But he couldn't spoil this little girl like this. Do you think I'll listen to you? Inexplicable. Isn't that right? Tell me, how are you old? Lin Xian looked at her and said, Miao Xiaomiao snorted and said, Don't think that no one saw you looking at Sister Qianqian's chest when you came in. Pervert. Lin Xian. Damn. He finally understood why Miao Xiaomiao had a negative impression of him for no reason. So it was because of this. Wang Qianqian was stunned. She placed the coffee in front of Lin Xian without saying a word. Lin Xian hurriedly said, Hey. How did you know I was looking at her breasts? At that time, I was talking to this big sister. So of course I had to look at her. Could it be that you don't look at her when you're talking to her? That was impolite. What proof do you have that I was looking at her breasts? Seriously? Ding. Miao Xiaomiao's favorability towards you -5. Lin Xian. It was so uncomfortable. Damn it. Miao Xiaomiao was going crazy. The old man also smiled helplessly. He looked at Lin Xian and said, Young man, don't mind her. This girl usually thinks too much. Lin Xian nodded. Of course. How can I argue with a child? Ding. Miao Xiaomiao's favorability towards you -5. Ding. Sense the anger of this big sister. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Lin Xian. Who are you calling a child? Miao Xiaomiao asked again. Lin Xian secretly rubbed his forehead. Alright Xiaomiao, take him out. Stop messing around. Grandpa will get angry. Oh. Then Miao Xiaomiao lowered her little head. But she secretly glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. It was over. How could he complete this mission? This girl had such deep resentment towards him. Then Miao Xiaomiao walked out with a small laptop in her arms. Go, this girl has been spoiled since she was young. The old man smiled at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. Thank you, Grandpa. He followed after. I say, Xiaomiao, how old are you this year? Lin Xian asked Miao Xiaomiao. Shut up. Miao Xiaomiao didn't even look at Lin Xian. She believed that Lin Xian was definitely sneaking glances at Wang Qianqian's chest. Definitely. Did Lin Xian look? That's right, he looked. Lin Xian was both angry and amused at the same time. He was angry because he was given the cold shoulder by this little girl. But he was amused because this little girl was actually quite interesting. Deep down, she was definitely more mature than she looked. Since that was the case, if she was more mature, then wouldn't he feel less guilty for flirting with her? It should be. You misunderstood me. I wasn't looking at her chest. I'm a gentleman. Who would believe you? Hooligan. Lin Xian smiled and said, Alright, hooligan. I'm a hooligan, alright? Whatever you say is right. At least the good thing was that this girl would talk to him. The worst thing was that she would ignore him no matter what he said. How should he put it? After all, she was just a little girl. He followed Miao Xiaomiao to the Bounty Hunter Guild. A few people were sitting on the steps eating instant noodles. looking quite shabby. Hey, 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 wake up. Meow Xiao Meow walked over and stepped on the ground to make a sound. The youths looked up and quickly stood up. Hee hee, Sister Meow. Hello, Sister Meow. Lin Xian. Lin Xian's face was filled with confusion. What the hell? You're all 17 or 18 years old, and you're calling a 13 or 14-year-old girl sister. F***ck. Where's your integrity? Give it to me. Meow Xiao Meow stretched out her hand to a handsome youth in front of her. The youth looked at the instant noodles in his hand, then looked at Meow Xiao Meow with a pleading expression. Don't, I haven't eaten it yet. Are you giving it to me or not? Yes, yes, yes. Then he passed the instant noodles to Meow Xiao Meow, who started slurping. Qin Lang seemed to have noticed something. The three youths were all 17 or 18 years old, but they were not afraid of Meow Xiao Meow. Instead, they doted on her. No wonder Meow Xiao Meow looked like she was spoiled. However, Lin Xian was quite surprised. The three youths were all one-star spirit focus. They were much stronger than most of the people in the Sky Martial Court. However, when he thought about it, it made sense. They spent all their time in the demonic beast domain, doing missions and killing demonic beasts. It would be strange if their cultivation level did not improve quickly. What about the people in the Sky Martial Court? Most of them were spoiled since childhood. Lin Xian admired these people even more. Hee hee, Sister Meow, Brother Tianshou isn't going today. Are you going to bring us there? One of the youths laughed. Of course, Meow Xiao Meow said matter-of-factly. Lin Xian could not help but laugh. When Meow Xiao Meow heard this, she stopped eating and turned to look at Lin Xian. She rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. What? Do you have a problem with that? It's not. Lin Xian thought he had misheard. She was going to lead the team? Was this for real? Lin Xian used his spiritual eye to look at Meow Xiao Meow. He was shocked. What? Meow Xiao Meow was 9-star spirit focus? Damn. That's right. Lin Xian had underestimated her. This is? The youth looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian extended his hand and said, I'm Lin Xian. I'm going to Deep Cold Valley with everyone. I'm a slacker. Ding. Meow Xiao Meow's favorability towards you +5. Lin Xian was speechless. What the hell? I said I was a slacker, and she increased her favorability towards me. It's good that you know. Meow Xiao Meow mumbled and continued eating. The youth smiled and said, Hello, I'm Zhang Bin. The other two youths came over. Wang Xian. Haha, we have one word in common. I'm Chu Meng. Nice to meet you. Lin Xian had a good impression of them. Chapter 60. Lin Xian shook hands with the three of them and smiled. Nice to meet you. What's there to talk about? If it wasn't for Grandpa, you wouldn't be able to follow us. Meow Xiao Meow glared at Lin Xian. She seemed to have a lot of resentment towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged and didn't say anything. Little brat, and let her have her way. Lin Xian then asked, Will it be just the few of us? He felt that it was impossible. The most powerful one was this little brat, but she couldn't be entrusted with such an important task. The other three had just reached the spirit focus realm. It would be dangerous for them to go to a place 20 kilometers away. How should they go to a place that far away? Normally, cultivators above the spirit focus realm were qualified to go. But the safest way was to have an arcane body realm cultivator leading the way. Otherwise, it would be extremely dangerous. Chu Meng smiled at Lin Xian and said, Of course not. Sister Meow will lead the team, but a few of our friends went out to buy things. They'll be back soon. Hey, they're here. Chu Meng pointed at a few figures not far away and waved his hand. Lin Xian also looked over. There were a total of 3 people, and one of them made Lin Xian stunned. Jiang Tianyu. Why was he here? He was Xiao Runing's cousin. They even put on a good show that night. Jiang Tianyu also saw Lin Xian and was stunned. Then a trace of darkness flashed in his eyes, but he hid it well. Lin Xian. The name that made him angry. The person who took away the woman he loved the most. That night, he really did what Xiao Runing said. He quietly hid in the neighborhood and waited for Lin Xian to come out. If he came out, he would be sure that they were acting. However, he waited for the whole night. The next morning, he saw Lin Xian and Xiao Runing talking and laughing as they walked out. Xiao Runing even drove her car to send Lin Xian somewhere. From then on, Lin Xian became the name he hated the most. But he didn't expect to meet him here today. Lin Xian probed, and found that the weakest of the three was a man who was about the same age as Jiang Tianyu. He was at 5-star spirit focus realm. The strongest was an uncle who was at 4-star arcane body realm, while Jiang Tianyu was only at 3-star arcane body realm. If it was a team like this, then it would be safe. Of course, that's if they didn't encounter any accidents. Like the Hell's Lion. Let me introduce you. Xu Ming then said to Lin Xian. This is the leader of our Gale mercenary group, Wang Ba. You can call him Brother Ba. Of course, Sister Cat should call him Uncle Ba. Xu Ming smiled and pointed at the uncle to Lin Xian. This is one of our members, Li Zhigao. And this? Jiang Tianyu then smiled at Lin Xian and said, Lin Xian, I didn't expect to meet you here. Lin Xian also nodded. Yeah, I didn't expect to meet Brother Tianyu either. It's fate. Lin Xian then smiled. Ah, you guys know each other. The few of them were slightly stunned. Lin Xian nodded. Yeah, we know each other. Brother Tianyu is my daughter. Before Lin Xian could finish, Jiang Tianyu smiled and interrupted him. I'm friends with Lin Xian. Lin Xian then nodded. Yeah, that's right. We're friends. However, Lin Xian held back his laughter. It seemed that Jiang Tianyu didn't want others to know about his relationship with Xiao Runing. TSK. It seemed that he still coveted Xiao Runing. Xu Ming said, That's great. It's great that Lin Xian and Brother Tianyu know each other. Jiang Tianyu looked at Lin Xian and asked, You're here for? Lin Xian smiled. To go to Deep Cold Valley with everyone. I haven't reached the arcane body realm yet, so it's safer to go with everyone. I see. Yeah, it's a good opportunity to get to know everyone. Jiang Tianyu nodded slightly, but he was already planning something in his mind. Lin Xian had snatched away the woman he loved, and now she was going to the Deep Cold Valley with him. It was more than 20 kilometers away. What if he died outside? Then wouldn't Xiao Runing be his? That's right. He, Jiang Tianyu, was going to make sure that Lin Xian died in Deep Cold Valley and never came out again. Xiao Runing didn't tell Lin Xian that Jiang Tianyu was also a member of the Gale mercenary group. This was a relatively big deal. It seemed that Xiao Runing didn't know either. Otherwise, she wouldn't have let Lin Xian and Jiang Tianyu get together again. It would be too easy to expose them. Miao Xiaomiao didn't seem to be interested in this. She stood up and threw the instant noodles into the trash can. Then, she scanned the crowd like a little adult. Yeah, everyone's here. Let's go. Okay. Their transportation was 2 specially made armored vehicles. They could be considered armored vehicles, but they definitely couldn't compare to a real armored vehicle. This was a means of transportation that a regular mercenary group would have. It was sturdier, faster, and had the ability to attack with firearms. It was also spacious. One vehicle could seat 6 people, and it even had some space for them to store things. What they went out to buy was none other than gene medicine. How should I put it? Gene medicine was equivalent to the elixirs used by cultivators on Earth. There were generally 2 types of gene medicine. One was for healing, and the other was for recovering spiritual energy value. If one was seriously injured, the genetic medicine could effectively heal the injury. However, it definitely couldn't compare to the healing methods of a powerful wood elemental martial artist. However, if one didn't have the wood elemental martial artist, or if it was inconvenient, they could make up for it. Then there were some food such as instant noodles and bread. You get into that vehicle. Miao Xiaomiao was unhappy when she saw that Lin Xian wanted to get into her vehicle. Lin Xian shrugged helplessly and got into the other vehicle. Jiang Tianyu was in the other vehicle. Lin Xian didn't want to be in the same vehicle as him. Moreover, Miao Xiaomiao was in this vehicle. He could try to improve their relationship, but if she wasn't willing, then so be it. Ding! Miao Xiaomiao's favorability towards you +1. Lin Xian was speechless. Favorability could be increased like this? But +1? Forget it. It was still negative. Then, the 2 vehicles sped towards the direction of Deep Cold Valley. The so-called 20 kilometers was 20 kilometers away from Tianhua City. They were in the city center. If they wanted to leave the city, they would have to drive for more than half an hour. So, the total distance was more than 60 kilometers. That was ridiculous. After all, a city was still very big. But it was still okay. The city center didn't mean that they were in the center of the city map. If they drove towards Deep Cold Valley, they could leave the city in half an hour. In the opposite direction, it would take more than an hour to leave the city. Lin Xian and Jiang Tianyu didn't have much to talk about. The whole journey was awkward, but he didn't think so. He didn't care. As for Jiang Tianyu, he was thinking about how to kill Lin Xian outside. However, Lin Xian would talk to Chu Meng. Little Meng, why do you all call Miao Xiao Miao Big Sister Miao? Lin Xian asked curiously. Chapter 61. Miao Xiao Miao was only 13, while they were 17. There must be a reason for that, right? Hearing Lin Xian's question, Chu Meng laughed and said, there are a few reasons for that. Firstly, this sister doesn't really mean sister. This girl is very arrogant, so it doesn't matter if we call her sister. We'll just spoil her. Lin Xian couldn't help but chuckle. Sure enough, this girl was spoiled. Second, Sister Miao is very strong. Although she's only 14, she's already at 9 stars of the spirit focus realm. She probably won't have any problem reaching the arcane body realm this year. She's probably stronger than many so-called geniuses at her age. Lin Xian was sure of this. Qin Xiaotian, the so-called genius, was only at the arcane body realm at 25 years old. What about Miao Xiao Miao? Close to the arcane body realm at 14 years old. How exaggerated was that? Zhang Bin added with a smile. Actually, after you get to know Sister Miao better, you'll realize that although she's young, we can't compare to her in terms of ability. She's proficient in all kinds of calculations. I don't dare to compete with her in anything. Although she's young, we're all impressed by her. Really? Chu Meng laughed again. I can see that Sister Miao seems to have some opinions about you, but don't mind her. She's just like that. She'll be fine once you get to know her better. She's usually very arrogant, but once you get to know her better, she'll treat us very well. Yes, there's one more thing. Sister Miao is the registered boss of the Gale mercenary group, which means she's our boss, Zhang Bin added. Lin Xian was speechless. A 14-year-old girl was the boss of the Gale mercenary group. Most importantly, they were quite impressed by her. This really made Lin Xian see her in a new light. This was probably why the old man let Miao Xiao Miao lead the group out. However, Lin Xian felt that there must be something else about her that made her even more outstanding. The Bounty Hunter Guild was really full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Jiang Tianyu leaned against the back and pondered. He did not listen to their conversation. He was thinking about how to kill Lin Xian outside. 40 minutes later, they drove out of Tianhua City. This was the first time that Lin Xian had left the city in such a manner. Tianhua City at night was still very lively and bright, but outside, it was pitch black. The only source of light was the moonlight and starlight in the sky. There was also another source of light, and that was the green and red light emitted from the eyes of the monsters in the forest. Of course, if one really wanted to count, there was also the martial arts released by the martial artists who were farming monsters, or the light from their flashlights. There were many people farming monsters in the surroundings. After all, Tianhua City was very close. This road was also a road from a few decades ago. Planet Aqua Blue was not like this from the beginning. A few decades ago, it was still human territory. At that time, there was no God's Child system. One day, the monsters suddenly rose up, and the humans obtained the God's Child system. Over time, the planet became like this. However, for now, the monsters still had the upper hand. The road was very rough, but it was still manageable. This kind of car was not afraid of rough roads. It was just a little bumpy. By the way, Lin Xian, why are you going to the deep cold valley? Chu Meng asked curiously. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, to look for deep cold spirit crystals. Deep cold spirit crystals? That might be a little difficult. The deep cold valley is rich in deep cold spirit crystals. but they have almost all been harvested by martial artists in recent years. Deep cold spirit crystals can only be found in extremely cold places. It would be fine if it was other places, but the overall temperature in Hua Nation is relatively high, so deep cold spirit crystals are very rare and can't be bought. Lin Xian suddenly realized something and asked, "Speaking of which, I suddenly thought of something. The deep cold valley should be a very cold place, right?" Chu Meng nodded. "Yes, that's why we all brought thick clothes. Didn't you?" 10 stars of the spirit focus realm was already very strong. For Lin Xian, it did not matter whether he wore thick clothes or not. Then Lin Xian said, "No, but it doesn't matter. It should be fine." Jiang Tianyu said, "That won't do. We are going to the depths of the deep cold valley. You have to be at least 7 stars of the spirit focus realm to withstand the cold there without thick clothes. Have you reached 7 stars?" Although it seemed to be a question of concern, Lin Xian could feel a trace of contempt. Lin Xian smiled. "It doesn't matter. It's my business when the time comes. I just need to wake up with everyone. Actually, I think it's enough to reach a certain level. It's best to be able to spend time with the person you love. What do you think, Brother Tianyu?" Lin Xian's words were a critical hit. What he meant was, "My level is not as high as yours, but I managed to take away the woman you love. Are you angry?" Jiang Tianyu's eyes flashed with anger. Then he pretended to be a gentleman and smiled. "You're right." Then, he clenched his fist and snorted in his heart. "Trash. I'll make sure you don't come out today." Then, Lin Xian asked Chu Meng. "The temperature in China is quite moderate. Logically speaking, a place like the deep cold valley shouldn't exist. Do you know why it's like this?" It was because Lin Xian could now possess all attributes. However, to obtain one attribute, one had to absorb the corresponding attribute's spirit item. The existence of the deep cold valley was indeed against science. It was like a frozen river in the desert. Was it possible? Impossible. Although it was not that exaggerated, it was still the same thing. China had 4 distinct seasons. But even in winter, the temperature would be around 0 degrees Celsius. It was rare for it to drop below 0 degrees. Summer had just passed, but in such a place at such a time, it was covered in ice and snow. Lin Xian felt that there must be a special reason. Chu Meng thought for a moment and said, "This is indeed a problem. I remember that people have investigated the place before, but could not find the reason for the appearance of the deep cold valley. Some people speculated that there was an ice-type treasure there, or that it was caused by an ice-type spirit item. It must be very powerful to cause such a phenomenon. Many people have tried to find it, but to no avail. Let's not worry about it." Lin Xian nodded slightly. However, he was deep in thought. There must be some kind of ice-type spirit item that caused such a phenomenon. Of course, some powerful spirit item could also cause such a phenomenon. However, it had to be very, very powerful. It had to be at least a heaven-grade spirit item. If that was the case, Lin Xian had to investigate it. The ice type was actually a water type. Such a large area of the deep cold valley should be enough for Lin Xian to absorb and permanently activate the water attribute. However, Chu Meng had also said that many experts had tried to search for it, but to no avail. Would he be able to find it? It was almost impossible. It was all up to fate. Chapter 62. Soon, Lin Xian saw the car in front of them stop. Then they stopped as well. "Are we here?" Lin Xian looked around. He had never been so deep in the forest before. Looking around, there was nothing out of the ordinary. There were all kinds of trees and weeds. It was all natural. After all, there were no signs of human destruction. Nature had grown on its own. We're here. Let's get out." Then the few of them got out of the car. Once they got out, Lin Xian felt a chill in his face. Of course, it didn't cause him any harm, but the temperature was obviously 10 degrees lower than in Tianhua City. This wasn't even deep cold valley. It was a place tens of kilometers away. Just the difference in temperature was enough to show how different this place was. This was definitely not caused by normal weather. After getting out of the car, everyone gathered together. Everyone carried a backpack, except for Miao Xiao Miao. At this moment, Miao Xiaomiao was using a small computer to calculate something. The others stood guard around her. They cooperated well. Lin Xian went over. "What are you doing?" The sudden voice made Miao Xiaomiao tremble. She almost threw the computer away. "Ah, men, drag him out and throw him out," Miao Xiaomiao said frantically. "Ding! Miao Xiaomiao's favorability towards you -5. Lin Xian. Damn. Was this girl so difficult to deal with? He was just asking a normal question. Why did it turn out like this? However, thinking about it, it was normal for a person to be startled when a voice suddenly rang in their ears while they were concentrating on something. The other smiled helplessly. Wang Xian said, "Sister Miao, hurry up and do it. It's not very peaceful outside. It's safer if we finish early and go back early." Then, Miao Xiaomiao glared at Lin Xian and continued working on the computer. Lin Xian rubbed the tip of his nose and walked away. Difficult. How could he get his hands on this little loli? What did little loli like? Lollipops? Did he have lollipops? Nope. Moreover, Miao Xiaomiao was much more mature than other girls her age, so she might not like lollipops. Wang Ba walked towards Lin Xian and patted Lin Xian's shoulder. Little Miao is scanning Deep Cold Valley to see if there is any special data. If there is, I'm afraid we'll have to return today. Special data? Wang Ba nodded. For example, some very strong demonic beasts can release special magnetic fields. So that's how it is. Thank you for your guidance, tyrant brother. Lin Xian then looked ahead. They were now on a slightly higher hill. There was a huge mountain range in front of them. It was very high. It was so high that only a helicopter could reach it. It might not be possible to climb it. It was too steep. There was a very deep valley in the middle of the mountain range. This was the Deep Cold Valley. But there was more than one Deep Cold Valley. After entering it, there would be many branches. In short, the area was still very big. They were at the entrance, and also the closest one. The deeper they went, the lower the temperature. Fewer people had explored the area. However, there were people who had entered the deepest part of the Deep Cold Valley in search of treasures, but they did not find them. In Lin Xian's vision, the entire mountain range in the Deep Cold Valley was sealed in ice. It was like a world of ice and snow. This made it even more impossible to climb. Moreover, the Deep Cold Valley was mainly a valley. There was nothing above the mountain range. There might be some crystals, but the conditions for the Deep Cold Spirit Crystal to be produced were that it would not be exposed to sunlight. Therefore, it was impossible for the Deep Cold Spirit Crystal to appear above. The surroundings were very normal. Only this mountain range was covered in ice and snow. It was very out of place. Seeing this, Lin Xian was even more certain that there was something here. Some people might say that since the Deep Cold Valley was a crisscrossing valley between two mountain ranges, wouldn't it be easy to go to the deepest part of the valley? All they needed was a helicopter to fly to the deepest part of the valley and drop them off. In theory, this was true. However, there were a few important points. First, the mountain range in the deepest part of the Deep Cold Valley was at least 800 meters high. What did 800 meters mean? It was as high as 200 to 300 stories. Who would dare to fly a plane down there? The probability of collision was as high as 90%. But to drop someone on top of the mountain range and slowly climb down from 800 meters? Impossible. It was so steep and full of ice. It was better to slowly walk into the deepest part of the valley from the entrance. Second, the uncertainty of the demonic beasts. There might be a few powerful demonic beasts on top of the mountain range. If they spit out fire, the plane might crash. Third, if they could send a helicopter, they must be very wealthy. Why would they come here? These few factors added together made it so that no one had ever tried to do this before. Although they might encounter many demonic beasts and danger from the entrance. This was their job after all. High risk, high reward. Miao Xiaomiao put away her laptop and looked at the crowd. Scanning a total of 3,000 meters. Found 221 demonic beasts. There are no strong infrared signals. We can go in. Alright. Everyone get ready to go. Lin Xian was speechless. 3,000 meters, more than 200 demonic beasts. What kind of place was the Deep Cold Valley? Why would it attract so many demonic beasts? Then, Lin Xian seemed to understand something. Demonic beasts were the same as kittens and puppies. Their senses were much sharper than humans. Just like how dogs could smell things that were very small and far away. Demonic beasts would definitely be able to sense spirit chi fluctuations that humans could not. The thicker the spiritual chi, the more demonic beasts liked it. Hence, if this place could attract so many demonic beasts, and there were so many of them even though it was so cold, there must be something releasing spiritual chi. Hence, Lin Xian had to investigate this place thoroughly. If the first time did not work, the second time would definitely work. Let's go. Then, all of them walked towards the deep cold valley. I was thinking, why don't we drive in? It's very wide. A car can drive in. Lin Xian asked in surprise. You think you're the only smart one? Miao Xiaomiao rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Really? If it were not for the fact that there were so many of Miao Xiaomiao's men here, Lin Xian would have spanked her. Pissed. Extremely pissed. What was Lin Xian hoping for now? That he could have a chance to be alone with Miao Xiaomiao. Let's see if I don't beat her until she cries. Chu Meng explained to Lin Xian. We can drive in, but the ground is very slippery and it's very slow. Also, it's not convenient to drive in. There are many demonic beasts. Although the car is sturdy, it's easy to be surrounded if we drive slowly. The car will be damaged, and we'll have to get out of the car to fight. Chapter 63. Lin Xian nodded slightly. It was not that he had many questions, but he really did not know anything about these things. Lin Xian then said to Miao Xiaomiao, What? Is it not good for me to ask more questions if I don't know anything? It's a rare quality to not be ashamed of asking questions. Only weaklings keep asking questions. Miao Xiaomiao said as if she was being reasonable. Oh, you mean you're not weak? Of course. I'm stronger than you. Then you've never asked before. Lin Xian's question stumped Miao Xiaomiao. Of course she had asked before. And she would even ask now. But how could she admit it in front of Lin Xian? I asked before because I was weak before. But I'm not weak now. Lin Xian laughed. Then let's fight when we get back. I'll show you who's the weak one. No. Chu Meng quickly pulled Lin Xian aside and whispered. Sister Miao is a 9-star spirit focus cultivator. You can't beat her. However, to Chu Meng's surprise, Lin Xian was not surprised to hear that Miao Xiaomiao was a 9-star spirit focus cultivator. Anyone would be shocked to hear that she had reached this level at such a young age. Lin Xian was not shocked because he already knew it. His spiritual eye had already seen it. We've already agreed. Let's fight when we get back. Miao Xiaomiao looked as if she had gotten her way. Fight her? Did he think she was easy to bully because she was young? Since Lin Xian was pissed off, she would use this opportunity to beat him up. Who told him to peek at her sister Qianqian's breasts? Miao Xiaomiao, on the other hand, did not think that Lin Xian was that strong. If he was really that strong, why would he follow them to Deep Cold Valley? Besides, Lin Xian wasn't that old. Those who had reached the Xian body realm were generally around 25 years old. This was because most of them had reached a certain age before they truly went to the beast realm to kill. Therefore, Miao Xiaomiao was certain that Lin Xian was at most in the spirit condensation realm. She was at the spirit condensation realm. So even if she was at the spirit condensation realm, she might not be able to defeat him. Therefore she couldn't lose. Alright, let's fight, Lin Xian said with a smirk. Everyone. But let's make things clear. When the time comes, don't say that I'm bullying the weak, Lin Xian added. Normally, he would be too lazy to bother with her. But this was an excellent opportunity to improve his relationship with Miao Xiaomiao. As for whether her favorability would increase or decrease, that would depend on Lin Xian's ability. Miao Xiaomiao was stunned. She didn't expect Lin Xian to agree so easily. He knew that she was at the spirit condensation realm, but he still agreed. What did that prove? It proved that he was confident. Therefore, he must also be at the spirit condensation realm. Or maybe Miao Xiaomiao thought that Lin Xian was looking down on her because she was too young to fight. She felt that the latter was more likely. I'm not going to say that, Miao Xiao Miao turned her head proudly. Then, Lin Xian moved closer to her and said, "But we have to add a bet." "What?" Miao Xiao Miao looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "If I win, you have to call me Big Brother 3 times. What if you lose? Then I'll call you Big Sister Meow like everyone else. You have to think about it. If you lose, you just have to call me Big Sister Meow 3 times. If I lose, I have to call you Big Sister Meow all the time. So you won't lose out." "Okay." Miao Xiao Miao agreed without hesitation. Lin Xian laughed in his heart. No matter how proud she was, this girl was still a little girl. If he couldn't feel her pulse, then wouldn't Lin Xian be useless? When she agreed to the PK, she had already fallen for Lin Xian's trap. "You guys." Big Brother Wang Ba shook his head but didn't say anything. Children, let them play. As they chatted, they walked into Deep Freeze Valley. They were now stepping on a layer of ice. As soon as they entered, Lin Xian felt an even more intense chill. With just one step, the temperature plummeted again. Why was it all ice? That was because the temperature was already below zero. Normal people wouldn't be able to withstand this temperature, wearing only a sweater and a jacket. However, Lin Xian could because he was at the spirit condensation realm. Even if he stripped naked, he wouldn't have a problem. As soon as they walked in, they saw a valley with extremely high cliffs on both sides. After walking for about 100 meters, there were many forks in the road. "Be careful." Just then, a few ice crystals shot towards them. Bang bang. Wang Ba was very strong. He rushed forward and smashed the ice crystals with his fist. In front of them, 2 transparent white beasts jumped down from the ice beside them. They were about a meter long and looked like giant rats. However, they carried a bulge on their back like a camel. The bulge was like a transparent crystal. Ice crystal blue rats. Be careful of the ice crystals they shoot. Although their cultivation level isn't high, the ice crystals have extremely strong penetrative power. Even if there's a difference in cultivation level, if you don't defend yourself, you'll still be injured, Wang Ba said. Then he stretched out his hand and a shining golden broadsword appeared in his hand. He rushed forward. Lin Xian used his spiritual eye to investigate. These 2 beasts were at the spirit condensation realm. This made him secretly speechless. They had just entered 100 meters, and didn't even see any chi building realm beasts. They were already at the spirit condensation realm. This deep freeze valley was not to be trifled with. Suddenly, Lin Xian's pupil shrank and he said, "Be careful. It's not just these 2. Jiang Tianyu also noticed. What made him surprised was that he was at the arcane body realm. Why did Lin Xian notice it before him? Logically speaking, the higher one's cultivation level, the faster one would notice it. But why did Lin Xian notice it first? Lin Xian didn't think about this. He didn't know why the higher one's cultivation level, the faster one would notice it. That was because his spiritual force was higher, and a higher spiritual force corresponded to a stronger divine sense. Other than his physique being strengthened by the lightning spirit, Lin Xian's other attributes were similar to an ordinary person's. Of course, this was only what Lin Xian thought, because he had checked Jiang Tianyu's spiritual force a long time ago. However, if he were to check Jiang Tianyu's spiritual force again, he would discover that his spiritual force of 395 was actually higher than Jiang Tianyu's, who was at the 3-star arcane body realm. It was almost the same as Wang Ba's, who was at the arcane body realm. Lin Xian had checked their attributes before. However, he only cared about their cultivation level and didn't pay attention to their attributes. Previously, he checked their spiritual power and found that they were about the same. But now it was more or less the same. That was not right. This was a difference of 5 levels. There was even a gap of a whole realm. Why was it more or less the same? Lin Xian didn't know. He didn't even know about this. Maybe he would be even more shocked when he found out about this. The ice crystal blue rats were generally at Spirit Focus 1st star. They posed no threat to Lin Xian, but to Chu Meng and the rest, if they were hit by the ice crystal, they would have to pay the price of having their bodies penetrated. Chapter 64. Whoosh! Lin Xian and Jiang Tianyu took out their spiritual weapons at the same time. When Lin Xian's dragon rain sword appeared in his hand, Jiang Tianyu's face instantly darkened. Of course, he recognized the dragon rain sword and knew that it belonged to Xiao Runing. But now that it appeared in Lin Xian's hand, he was even more convinced that the two of them were lovers. Therefore, he must kill Lin Xian today. He must. Even if Xiao Runing was already a pair of broken shoes, it wouldn't be a loss for him to play with her for a few years before throwing her away. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the figures of several people rushed up. This was Lin Xian's first time using a spiritual weapon to fight a monster. But he had already gotten used to it, because he had already mastered using a sword in a virtual battle. Bang! The sword stabbed the ice crystal blue rat. But just as it was about to hit, the ice crystal blue rat released ice crystals to attack Lin Xian's dragon rain sword. Because of that, the sword missed. Cosmic Fist! Lin Xian then decisively increased his speed and punched the ice crystal blue rat's head. Tisk! Meow Xiao Meow, who had been paying attention to Lin Xian, made a tisk sound. Why did she make a tisk sound? Because she sensed that Lin Xian's punch only had the strength of a 5-star Spirit Focus Realm warrior. She was a 9-star Spirit Focus Realm warrior. Only a 5-star Spirit Focus Realm warrior would dare to PK with her? Wasn't that seeking death? When Lin Xian heard that sound, his lips curled up slightly. Who didn't know how to pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger? Of course, he wanted to make Meow Xiao Meow lower her guard, so he didn't use his full strength. Otherwise, what if she returned and didn't want to PK? But even so, a punch to the head, coupled with a martial skill, killed the ice crystal blue rat instantly. Ding! You killed the ice crystal blue rat. Experience plus 900. The experience wasn't much, but it was almost equivalent to an experience fruit. Everyone pay attention. Don't attack the crystal on the back of the ice crystal blue rat. If you attack, the crystal will explode and ice crystals will shoot everywhere. It's very dangerous. Meow Xiao Meow then shouted to everyone. Alright, Lin Xian knew this as well. He had fought in a virtual battle before, and he had also suffered from this. Therefore, Lin Xian deliberately did not attack the crystal on the back of the crystallized blue rat. Soon, the group of ice crystal blue rats were taken care of. Lin Xian had killed 3 monsters. It wasn't a lot, but it showed that he had put in a lot of effort. After all, he still needed to level up. However, Lin Xian discovered a huge weakness, and that was that he still didn't have any sword moves. Using a sword was naturally more lethal, and the attack range was even further. But how should he put it? Lin Xian knew swordsmanship. He had learned it on Earth, but he was not proficient in it. Therefore, if he used a sword and did not have any sword moves, he would not be strong. In some ways, it was even worse than abandoning the spirit tool. However, if he had a sword technique, Lin Xian's lethality would at least double if he used a sword in battle. Maybe more than that. Everyone was like that. Using a sword, using a weapon, the most important thing was to match it with a martial technique. Wang Ba and the others took out beautiful blue crystal-like objects from the ice crystal blue rats and put them in their backpacks. This is? Lin Xian asked curiously. Jiang Tianyu replied to Lin Xian. Ice crystal. It's something unique to the ice crystal blue rats. It's similar to a crystal, and it contains a small amount of ice energy. It can be sold for a bit of money. I see. Thank you, Brother Tianyu. Jiang Tianyu nodded slightly and did not say anything else. He tried his best to show that he had a good relationship with Lin Xian. This way, if Lin Xian died here, no one would suspect their relationship. They relied on this to make a living. If they could sell it for money, why wouldn't they? After dealing with this, the group continued to walk deeper into the forest. Lin Xian shamelessly stuck to Meow Xiao Meow's side. Xiao Meow, do you watch cartoons? Happy Wolf and Ash Sheep. I recommend one to you. Wolf is not bad either. Lin Xian said to her. Are you a little brat? Meow Xiao Meow looked up at Lin Xian and said coldly. Lin Xian was speechless. F***ck. This little brat. I'm not a little brat, but you are. Lin Xian said straightforwardly. Humph. Just you wait. If you say another word, I'll beat you up more when we PK. Meow Xiao Meow hated Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged nonchalantly. Are you going to watch it or not? I stopped watching this kind of thing 4 years ago. Childish. Meow Xiao Meow said. Lin Xian was speechless. Chu Meng laughed. Lin Xian, don't look at our sister Meow like she's a child. She's a psycho. She may be young, but her IQ is above 200. She's proficient in all sorts of things that even geniuses in their 20s and 30s can't analyze. You can't compare to her. Lin Xian was indeed very surprised. This little brat was really not simple. Sigh. Lin Xian sighed. Why are you sighing? Meow Xiao Meow glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, I'm sighing because you should be sitting at home on the sofa, eating snacks and watching cartoons. But you're missing out on the most beautiful things you should be doing. Don't you think it's a pity? Meow Xiao Meow snorted. That's something that only stupid normal humans like you would do. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Oh my god. He was able to face a woman like Xiao Runing with ease. But now he had encountered a little girl that he couldn't even refute a single word of her treatment. What the hell was this? Was she saying that she was harder to deal with than Xiao Runing? Of course not. After thinking about it, Lin Xian felt that the reason was because he felt guilty, because she was a little brat. So he couldn't go all out on her. And they were all surrounded by her people. Seeing that Lin Xian didn't say anything, Meow Xiao Meow snorted proudly. Ding! Meow Xiao Meow's favorability towards you +1. Lin Xian. What the hell? Increase favorability? Lin Xian was stunned. She increased favorability towards him when he was beaten. Thinking about it, it was probably because she was happy to see him beaten. Naturally, she would be happier and her favorability would increase. But to use this method to make her happy and earn favorability? That wouldn't be Lin Xian. Let her be smug for a while. Wait until we get back, I'll take her down. So be it. 30 minutes passed. An hour passed. They had already traveled quite a distance. Meow Xiao Meow's main job wasn't to fight, but to scan. This device could scan a distance of 3,000 meters. It was also a guarantee of everyone's safety. If the scan detected a threat, then they would hesitate whether to continue forward. In this hour they encountered no less than 50 monsters. But generally speaking they weren't strong. The strongest one was a 7-star Spirit Focus Realm monster. But it was killed by Wang Ba in 2 moves. After all, he was a 4-star Arcane Body Realm Cultivator. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.